Chapter 4288. The two of them attacked and were prepared to stop the people around them. The people from Demon City roared. Why would they be afraid of such a threat? Hence they charged forward. In an instant they charged forward. All sorts of demonic aura spread and shook the 9 heavens. However, not long after, they were shocked because they realized that although there were only 2 of them, they were too powerful. The cosmic form behind Shinjingqiu was like a real immortal king, standing tall and upright. It blocked all the mystique attacks and blocked their way. On the other side, the Murong Qingcheng was even more terrifying. The 9 slashes of Kunlun and the Jade Lake holy water surged in all directions, making it impossible for them to win. Damn it. Seeing this, the 3-eyed fire demon ape roared crazily. This bunch of trash couldn't even break through one of them? It was infuriating. When Lin Xian saw this scene, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Why? Are you still hoping that someone will come and save you? Dream on. You'll definitely die today. Kid, don't be so smug. Can you really kill me? The 3-eyed fire demon ape snorted. Although he had lost, it wasn't that easy for Lin Xian to kill him. Lin Xian sneered. It was indeed more troublesome to kill him using ordinary means. However, the trump card in my hand is not something you can imagine. Next, I'll let you know what despair is. The demonic aura on his body surged and covered his entire body. Apart from his strong physique and superb sword skills, he had other mystiques. Previously, he had pretended to be the old ancestor of the heavenly demon tribe. Naturally, he had obtained the inheritance of the heavenly demon tribe. At this moment, he was using one of the mystiques, demonize the world. This mystique used demonic aura to refine powerful energy and could even dissolve a person directly. This was the mystique of the demon tribe and was extremely terrifying. Normally, Lin Xian wouldn't use this mystique. However, this time, he didn't hold back at all against the 3-eyed fire demon ape. He formed a seal with his palms, and streaks of demonic aura surged out, forming a cage and trapping the 3-eyed fire demon ape. The demonic aura formed an altar again. A terrifying aura appeared, and a refined energy covered the 3-eyed fire demon ape. No, feeling this aura, the 3-eyed fire demon ape was completely terrified. Damn it, you can't do this. He knew that this kind of attack could threaten his life and could even destroy his soul. He roared fiercely, the power in his body exploding as he tried to break free. However, it was useless. His power was being crazily sucked away. The absorbed energy formed black crystals that resembled divine crystals. When the altar finally disappeared, the 3-eyed fire demon ape was already dead. On the ground, there were 8 black crystals that contained a terrifying amount of power. Lin Xian waved her hand and stored the 8 crystals. When the time came, he could provide the great dragon sword soul with the energy inside and use it as a trump card. He could even use the demonic aura to increase his strength. In short, it was a very good treasure. After obtaining it, the corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile as he looked at the volcano in front of him. The surrounding people were all stupefied. Heavens! Wasn't a late-stage, holy venerable killed by the other party just like that? This method was too terrifying. Sage Wanyu, who was fighting with Murong Qingcheng, roared crazily when he saw this scene. Damn it! Lin Wudi, our 1,000 demon city, will not rest until you die. Boom, boom. Someone was sent flying. Murong Qingcheng and Shinjingqiu unleashed their power. These people could not resist at all. Run. The saints of 1,000 Demon City roared crazily and retreated into the distance. Did the people of 1,000 Demon City escape? These 2 fairies were very powerful. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He did not care about such threats. In the next moment, he turned his head and stared at the volcano in front of him. Then he roared and a terrifying power surged out. The Taiji diagram rotated, and turned into an eternal light that slashed towards the volcano. At this moment, Lin Xian was attacking the volcano with all his might. The volcano gradually cracked open, and a fiery red will flew out. A ball of red flame was emitted. Its powerful aura attracted everyone's attention. Many people's eyes turned red instantly. That was the will of a holy king. Attack. Although they had seen the power of Lin Xian and the others before. So what? There were so many of them. They would have a chance to get it. Therefore, the people around them all rushed over. They were courting death. Morong Qingqing snorted, and the Kunlun 9 slashes flew out. Shen Jingqiu used her cosmic form. The two of them fought on one side and blocked the people on the other side. So powerful. These people had seen the battle before and knew that the two of them were powerful. But now that they experienced it personally, they knew how terrifying the two of them were. And they realized that the two of them had been holding back. Now that they had unleashed their full power, it was really terrifying. One after another, the laws seemed capable of tearing them apart. Damn it, how could these two be so strong? They were both crazy. On the other side, people from other places charged towards Lin Xian. They felt that this was a good opportunity. Lin Xian snorted coldly. These people dared to attack him. Did they not know what was good for them? Looking at the two people charging towards him, his body swayed, and he dodged. Smiles appeared on the faces of the two men. They grabbed at the flame will. The flame will erupted with a terrifying light and directly enveloped the two of them. In the next moment, the two of them roared crazily. Their bodies were directly melted, and the two souls fled into the distance. Did they want to leave? Lin Xian split the two souls with his sword. The remaining people did not dare to move forward in fear. For a moment, Lin Xian suppressed the group of people. Morong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu also blocked the other people. The three of them joined forces and blocked nearly 5 times the number of people. Their strength was simply heaven-defying. If you don't get lost, don't blame me for starting a massacre. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The power of the 10 ultimate sword formation erupted and directly pierced through heaven and earth. The surrounding space was sealed, forming a boundary. The other people quickly retreated. It was too terrifying. Without the top powerhouses and Sage King weapons, no one would be able to fight against the other party. They could only quickly retreat and contact the powerhouses in the sacred city. Damn it, the people of the Acheron Hall gritted their teeth. If it were not for their top powerhouses fighting the Tomb Keeper, they would have come over to kill this brat. Seeing that no one dared to come, Lin Xian snorted coldly and then turned to look at the flame will. He took a deep breath and began to attack the flame will. The 9 suns' divine fire turned into golden crows and began to seal the flame will. This was a difficult battle. The degree of danger was not inferior to that of Shan Yan and the demonic ape. Fortunately, the surrounding people did not dare to attack again. Therefore, there was no need to worry about the consequences. However, over 100,000 miles away, on a mountain peak, a figure appeared. His eyes were shining with a terrifying killing intent as he stared at Lin Xian in the distance. Chapter 4289. Lin Xian furrowed his brows when he sensed the cold, murderous intent. In the next moment, he turned around. He did not see the real body, only an afterimage. However, he was still shocked. That was because he was too familiar with that figure. Wan Jianyi, he was still alive. Previously, Wan Jianyi had fought against him, but he was defeated and left by Gu Feng. After that, he did not see Wan Jianyi again. But now, he saw the silhouette of that person again. It truly shocked him. With Wan Jianyi's character and terrifying strength, he would definitely be a disaster in the future if he was left alive. However, when he wanted to look for Wan Jianyi again, Wan Jianyi had already left. Wan Jianyi had disappeared without a trace. Lin Xian had to deal with the Sage King's will with all his strength, so he did not have the time to pay attention to Wan Jiani. With his full strength, he sealed the Sage King's will. Lin Xian put it into the great void divine furnace and let out a sigh of relief. That's great. He had obtained one. This way, he had a quota. Next, he had to get one for Morong Qingcheng and Shunjingqiu. This way, they would be qualified to enter the buried Emperor's Star. However, if possible, Lin Xian wanted to collect a few more. Because this thing was left behind by the Sage King, it was extremely useful for comprehending the Great Tao. When the people in the distance saw Lin Xian put away the flame intent, they were shocked. Their eyes turned red, and their faces were filled with envy. This guy had obtained the Sage King's will. Murong Qingcheng and Shunjingqiu smiled. The three of them turned into flowing lights and disappeared. After the three of them left, the news quickly spread. Many people in the holy city knew about it. Lin Xian had obtained the Sage King's will. Some people sighed. As expected of Lin Wudi, he was really strong. It seemed that he was the first to obtain it. However, some people's faces were gloomy, and they gritted their teeth. Damn it, it was this kid again. These people were going crazy. They must find him and kill him to snatch the Sage King's will. The terrifying primordial battlefield was filled with an icy aura. However, a few streaks of light streaked across the blood-colored sky. Among them were people from the Primordial Grotto and Akron Hall. Their faces were extremely cold. These people were the two who had attacked the Gravekeeper earlier. They had thought that they would be able to kill the Gravekeeper with their weapons. But who would have thought that the old man guarding the tomb would be way too frightening? This was especially the case for the countless tombs of powerful beings around him. Eventually, they all burst forth with a terrifying aura. He had almost killed them. Fortunately, they had brought along Saint King weapons, so they were able to escape. Otherwise, they would really be in danger. Damn it, that old bastard. I have to get rid of him if I have the chance. On the Akron Hall's side, a sacred venerate called Ziming had an ugly expression. The leader of the Immemorial Grotto team was someone called Lan Tiendo. He gritted his teeth and said, "Don't worry, there will be a chance." As they spoke, they quickly flew into the distance. On the other side, the tombkeeper returned to the place where Lin Xian and the others were trapped. His expression was cold. For so many years, no one had dared to be disrespectful to him. Now, these brats were actually so bold. His expression was cold. In the next moment, he took out the magistrate pen and scanned his surroundings. At the same time, he let out an ancient voice as if he was giving an order. The tombs around him all cracked open, and one figure after another walked out of the tombs. They were abnormally ferocious. They all respectfully waited for the tombkeeper. However, the tombkeeper frowned because he realized that there was no movement at all from an inconspicuous small mound in the distance. What was going on? He waved the magistrate pen again and even took out a Yama's gong and knocked on it. However, the small mound still did not move. In the next moment, the old man waved his hand and directly crushed the mound. He frowned because he realized that there was nothing inside. Damn it, that guy actually ran away again. When I find you, I'll tear you into pieces. He snorted coldly, then formed a seal with his palm. The black figures that walked out of the tomb all spread out in all directions. The tombkeeper's lips curled into a sneer. Geniuses from all over the universe? I'll let you collect the sage ruler's will for me. Lin Xian and the others were still searching, but they also realized that many people were looking for them. It seemed that those people wanted to snatch the sage ruler's will from them. Lin Xian's expression was cold. It seemed that these guys really did not give up. As long as they dared to come, he would let them know what despair was. The three of them continued on their way. Lin Xian used his ocular technique and continued to search. A few days later, he was stunned. He discovered that on the ground in front of him, another huge creature had appeared. It was a city the Antiquity City. At this moment, it was already in ruins. Many places had collapsed, forming cracks and abysses. However, this huge city was really too big. The remaining space was as far as the eye could see. As for Lin Xian, he felt a strange fluctuation from the city. He knew that there was definitely a Sage King's will inside. In addition to Lin Xian and the others, there were also people from all over. There were even people from inside the Antiquity City. It was obvious that the Antiquity City had attracted everyone's attention. They entered the Antiquity City. Lin Xian and the others felt a sense of desolation. Countless years ago, this must have been a prosperous place. It could even be a martial holy land. However, after a great battle between sage rulers, this place was completely ruined. After Lin Xian came down, he could see the broken array on the ground. Obviously, it was destroyed in the battle back then. However, Lin Xian carefully searched and found that although some array formations were broken, they could still be used. It was just that after countless years, no one could activate them. As for the others, they exclaimed. They looked into the distance. There was a pagoda standing there, emitting a desolate aura. The pagoda was still in good condition, and there were countless runes around it that intertwined to form a barrier, isolating everything. Everyone walked in the direction of the pagoda. They saw that on the plaque above the pagoda, there were even a few words written in flamboyant calligraphy. Universe Pagoda. Many people gasped. How much courage and strength did one have to be to dare to use the name of the universe? Obviously, this pagoda was extremely extraordinary. There might be unknown treasures inside. This was the primordial battlefield. Those who participated in the battle back then were definitely sage rulers. There might even be stronger existences. If they could get one of the things left behind by those people, it would be a great opportunity for them. So, thinking of this, their eyes became fiery red again. Chapter 4290. Sounds of discussion could be heard all around. Among them, a figure appeared. She stood on the street and lifted her head to look ahead. Her appearance made the surrounding people retract their gazes and look at her. She was from the joyous Union Palace. She was indeed a fairy. It was said that people from the joyous Union Palace were the most suitable partners. Laughter could be heard, and there were even some experts who frowned. They could sense a peculiar aura from the other party. Could it be the Sage Monarch's will? Did this person obtain the Sage Monarch's will? Yushurchia's face also turned pale. To be honest, she had indeed obtained the Sage Monarch's will. However, she had been separated from the people from the joyous Union Palace and had come here alone. Facing so many cold gazes, she was extremely nervous. Although she was also a genius, she really could not fight against so many people here. In such a dangerous situation, she did not think of her fellow sect members. Instead, she thought of Lin Xian. If that guy was here, he should be able to protect her. Then she shook her head. That kid had already made countless enemies. Would he provoke so many people for her? Even if she had already submitted to him, he did not take her seriously at all. Do you have the Sage Monarch's will on you? If you do, hand it over, and I'll let you live. At that moment, someone said coldly. It was an old man whose aura was abnormally powerful. On the other side, a middle-aged woman also walked out and said, "Take it. I'll guarantee your safety." The others also exclaimed. They did not expect the palace guard to have such a treasure. Yushurchia sighed. It seemed that she had obtained the Sage Monarch's will by chance. She could no longer keep it. In that case, she could only save her life. At that moment, another young man walked over and said coldly, "Leave it to me. I'll take you to meteoric success." Yushurchia had already made up her mind. She looked around with a smile. At that moment, her body was emitting a strange aura. This was the special illusion of the joyous Union Palace. She smiled. "I know you all want the Sage Monarch's will. Fine, I can give it to you, because I can't beat you. However, I only have one Sage Monarch's will. You have so many experts. Who should I give it to?" As soon as she said that, the surrounding people gasped. Then they forgot about the three masters. Was this woman trying to sow discord? She was really meticulous. This way, if a fight really broke out, the other party would have a chance to escape. The middle-aged woman also sneered. "You're so young, yet you're so scheming. However, this isn't something you need to consider. You only need to hand over the Sage King's will. As for who obtains it in the end, it has nothing to do with you." Was there no chance left? Yushurtia sighed when she saw that the three experts were unmoved. It seemed that her last bit of hope had disappeared. Since that was the case, then forget it. She smiled bitterly and said, "All right, I hope you can spare my life." As she spoke, she waved her hand and took out a treasure bottle. Inside the bottle, there was a blue glow flickering. That was the will of water. It was abnormally terrifying and attracted countless gazes as soon as it appeared. Yushurtia used this opportunity to quickly retreat. She pushed him far away, but she didn't leave. At this moment, the Sage Kings will become the only thing in the world. In front of him, the eyes of the three great experts were also blooming with terrifying light. Moreover, the three great experts in front of him didn't act rashly. Although they desperately wanted to obtain the item, no one dared to make the first move, because if the first person made a move, the other two would probably immediately join hands. The other two also had the same thought. Therefore, the atmosphere became somewhat tense for a moment. The surrounding people also had grave expressions, but no one was interested. This scene was incomparably strange. However, at this moment, the void broke open, and a large golden hand directly grabbed down, enveloping the will of water. Terrifying power illuminated the surroundings. The surrounding people were stunned. The three great experts' pupils constricted. In the next moment, they were furious. Courting death, the item that the three of them didn't dare to rashly snatch had actually been snatched away by someone else. Who was it? No matter who it was, they would all destroy the other party's soul. The three of them roared and unleashed terrifying divine abilities at the golden hand. The void exploded in an instant. However, the speed of the golden palm was much faster than everyone had imagined. It turned into a golden bolt of lightning and instantly disappeared. Want to leave? The sacred domain of the three erupted, sweeping through the 9 heavens and 10 lands, completely enveloping the entire world. Want to run? Do you think I'll run? How laughable. In the sky, a cold voice came. Then, a figure like a god of war descended. The surrounding people all raised their heads and looked over. The three great experts did the same. In the next moment, their pupils constricted. "Lin Woody, it's you." They were really shocked. They didn't expect it to be this kid. In the distance, Yushurtia was also stunned. Was it him? She had hoped that he would appear to save her. She didn't expect that he would really appear now. However, when she saw the two beautiful figures beside Lin Xian, a trace of sadness appeared in her eyes. The person who came was indeed Lin Xian. Not only him, but Morong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu also came. The appearance of the three attracted the attention of everyone. The three great experts in front of them. The old man narrowed his eyes. "I see who it is. So it's you, kid. What, you think you can be arrogant in front of us just because you got a good ranking in the second round?" The middle-aged woman also sneered. "Kneel down now, and obediently hand over the will of the sacred king, and I can give you a chance to live. The three of you bullied others and snatched the will of the sacred king from others. Do you have any shame? You are all reputable figures. Don't you think it's too shameless for you to join forces now?" Lin Xian sneered. In the face of the three great experts, he was not afraid. "Kid, it seems that you really don't know what's good for you. Do you want to snatch the treasure from us?" A cold, killing intent appeared in the old man's eyes. The old man was from Giant Spirit Pavilion, The woman was an expert from Guiyuan Hall, and the young man was from Seven Star Tower. Among them, the middle-aged woman also arrived. You have already provoked Akron Hall, Demon City, and other holy cities. Now, you still want to be enemies with us? If that's the case, I'm afraid not only will you die, but your Wushuang City will be consigned to eternal damnation. What? Are you threatening me? Humph, Lin Xian sneered. Then he threw the will of water out and threw it to you, Shurchia. Then he said, since you got it, you can keep it. Remember, when you get a treasure, don't give it to others so easily. This scene caused everyone to be stunned. My heavens, what did Lin Xian do? He'd actually handed over the Holy King's will to you, Shurchia. Could it be that the two of them knew each other? Everyone was shocked. It turned out that Lin Xian didn't want to snatch the treasure for himself, but to stand up for you, Shurchia. Chapter 4291. The three experts' pupils shrank. Was this kid trying to slap them in the face? Their expressions became incomparably cold. Yushurchia was also stunned. She looked at the sage monarch while in front of her in disbelief. Had he returned it to her? One had to know that this was the sage monarch will. With it, she could increase her strength and obtain the opportunity to go to the buried Emperor's star. Had he given it to her just like that? Yushurchia didn't know why, but she wanted to cry. Kid, it seems like you want to stand out. Your appetite is too big. You already have two fairies by your side, but you're still thinking about others. The middle-aged woman sneered. The youth from the Seven-Star Pavilion also had a cold expression. I advise you to obediently surrender. Otherwise, I'll send all of you to hell. Oh, is that so? Lin Xian turned his head and stared at the person from the Seven-Star Pavilion. The corners of his mouth rose into a cold smile. With just you? You dare to look down on me? The Seven-Star Pavilion's Xiaobai was instantly enraged. Lin Xian's eyes revealed a domineering look. I still have the Sage Monarch will in my hand. If you have the strength, just snatch it. If you can defeat me, this Sage Monarch will is yours. Hearing this, countless people gasped. This Lin Wuti was too arrogant. Sure enough, a trace of cold killing intent appeared in Xiaobai's eyes. No one had ever dared to look down on him like this. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. An extremely terrifying aura emerged from Xiaobai's body. It had to be said that he was very powerful. He was an unparalleled existence among mid-stage holy venerables. He was much stronger than Wan Jianni and the others. Buzz. Xiaobai's figure swayed. Terrifying stars flickered under his feet. With a step, he arrived in front of Lin Xian. Then he slapped his palm toward Lin Xian. The stars on it formed a pattern that enveloped Lin Xian. At the same time, his other hand attacked Yushurchia. The starlight in the sky fell, forming a large net. Not only did he want to kill Lin Xian and steal Lin Xian's Saint King will, but he also wanted Yushurchia's will of water. He also wanted to take it away. He had to admit that he was really greedy. Lin Xian sneered. You want to attack me at the same time? Aren't you afraid of bursting? After he finished speaking, his fist glowed with light as he swung it forward, colliding with the starry sky pattern. The sound of the sky collapsing and the earth cracking could be heard. The starry sky pattern was directly broken, and the opponent's palm was beaten back. Xiaobai's body also began to tremble, a look of shock appearing in his eyes. On the other hand, Lin Xian shook his head. You're so weak that it's pitiful. Even someone like you dares to attack me. I really don't know where your courage comes from. The surrounding people were all stunned. No way. Lin Wuti was already so strong. Xiaobai's pupils shrank as well. How could this be? Although the other party was strong in the second stage, he was still an ant-like existence in his eyes. Was his opponent able to block his attack? Thinking of this, he became angry, and his palm turned into a single finger again. Finger of stars. With a point of his finger, the stars were destroyed. This was a powerful ultimate technique of the Seven-Star Tower. He did not believe that the other party could block it. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. The golden hand slapped over fiercely. The flames on it were monstrous, as if it was burning everything. In an instant, it enveloped the finger of stars. The other party's palm made cracking sounds. As it was directly broken, blood flowed out. This was not over. The golden hand did not stop at all. It slapped towards Xiao Bai's face. Boom! This attack slapped Xiao Bai's face. That handsome face instantly deformed as countless cracks appeared on it. His body was also sent flying backward like a kite. Boom! Xiao Bai vomited blood and flew backward, overturning a mountain peak in the distance. The endless morning fog filled the air. The surrounding people were stunned. Their eyes almost fell out of their sockets. Heavens! What did they see? The incomparably powerful Xiao Bai was actually sent flying by Lin Xian's slap. This was too powerful. In the distance, Yushirchia was also dumbfounded. Although she was touched by Lin Xian's actions, she also knew that Lin Xian had made too many enemies, so she thought that it would be better to take out this Sage King's will. At least she would not make any more enemies. But who would have thought that Lin Xian was actually so powerful? He sent his opponent flying with a slap. This stunned her on the spot. The other two experts also frowned. A hint of seriousness appeared in their eyes. To be honest, they had never taken the other party seriously before. But now, the strength that the other party displayed greatly shocked them. It seemed that the other party's casual attack was already so terrifying. This kid's strength had actually increased so quickly. They carefully investigated. And then their pupils shrank. The other party was already a mid-stage, wholly venerable. If they remembered correctly, the other party was only a peak small saint in the second stage. Now, he had broken through 2 major realms in such a short time. What had the other party experienced? Boom! The mountain range in the distance split open. A figure flew out. It was Xiao Bai. At this moment, his expression was incomparably ugly. Although his injuries had recovered, he was still furious. After being slapped in the face in public, how could he still have a face to appear in front of others in the future? Although he was angry, he did not immediately attack, because the strength that the other party had displayed just now had really shocked him. Lin Xian looked at him and said indifferently, "Yes, I have indeed offended many holy cities, but whether it is the Acheron Hall, the Myriad Sword Pavilion, or the Great Desolate Mansion, I will not let them off. The experts of these holy cities have also died at my hands. Do you want to follow in their footsteps?" Xiao Bai was covered in cold sweat. He knew that the person in front of him was a demon king. If he really angered the other party would not care about their identity or background. He would kill them all. So, for a moment, he stood there in a daze. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he once again looked towards the old man and the middle-aged woman before he coldly asked, "What about the two of you? Are you still going to go against me?" The two of them took a deep breath. Stars flickered in their eyes. In the next moment, they made a decision. The middle-aged woman laughed. "Lin Gongzi lived up to his reputation. We were just joking with you. That's right, I just wanted to see your skills. How could I be your enemy?" These two experts did not have any killing intent at all. In fact, they even had a hint of flattery. The surrounding people went crazy. Were these still the 3 great experts? Previously, these 3 people were high and mighty, looking down on everything. However, in front of Lin Xian, they did not have any temper at all. They had originally thought that there would be a fierce battle, but who would have thought that Lin Xian's strength would suppress everything? In the distance, Yushirchia was also stunned. Was this her master? He was already so powerful. Originally, he had thought that if his strength increased, he might be able to break free from the other party's control. But now, it seemed that it would be difficult for him to do so in this lifetime. Seeing that the 3 of them did not dare to attack again, Lin Xian retracted his gaze and turned to look at Yushirchia. Then he said, Take that will. It is very compatible with your bloodline. Chapter 4292. Thank you, young master. Yu Shijie was extremely grateful. Lin Xian did not say anything. After all, Yu Shijie was also one of his people. However, he was very surprised. He did not expect that the other party would be able to obtain the Sage King's will. It seemed that the other party's fortuitous encounter was not small. Lin Xian's gaze shifted away from the other party, and then towards the pagoda in front of them. He said, "Since we've met, then follow me to see what's inside the pagoda." Around the pagoda, there were even more powerhouses. The arrival of Lin Xian and the others naturally attracted the attention of countless people. Many gazes flew towards them. In fact, some of them even had monstrous killing intent. Lin Xian snorted coldly, his body emitting a powerful aura. Murong Qingcheng and the others did the same. They used terrifying laws to counterattack. The sound of the array formation rang out. Everyone was surprised. Although this team had few people, their strength was powerful. Therefore, everyone retracted their gazes and looked at the pagoda again. Let's see how to enter the pagoda first. Outside the pagoda, there was an array formation protecting it. If they wanted to enter, they had to first crack the array formation. Someone could not help but make a move and rushed forward. That person's body emitted an incomparable light. It was obvious that he was an expert. His body emitted a terrifying Dao light as he charged directly towards the array formation. The array formation seemed to have been activated, releasing an incomparable aura. Bolts of lightning spread out in all directions. A sea of lightning rose and enveloped the entire space. Countless cracks appeared, carrying a power that could destroy everything. The surrounding people felt this power, and their expressions changed. Was it a lightning array formation? The person who attacked the array formation previously was also blasted back by the lightning and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. This scene caused everyone to be even more shocked. Lin Xian's eyes also flickered. Clearly, he could see that this was an extremely terrifying lightning array formation. Murong Qingcheng said with a frown, "This was not an ordinary array formation. It looked similar to a lightning tribulation. Lightning tribulation was a very dangerous thing for anyone because the slightest carelessness could lead to death. Therefore, when they encountered similar lightning again, these people were on guard. After the initial shock, the surrounding people all stopped what they were doing. Soon, they discussed again, and then rushed in. Although the lightning was scary, they were determined to get it. Then let's go." Lin Xian took a deep breath. Radiance blossomed from his body. He brought Murong Qingsheng and the other two and flew forward. When they entered the sea of lightning, terrifying lightning bolts shot towards them. It caused the space around them to shatter continuously. They felt an extremely terrifying aura of destruction. It was as if it wanted to tear them apart. "Ah!" Someone roared in front of him. "Damn it, don't use your laws. You'll attract even more powerful lightning tribulations." As soon as these words were spoken, the people in the surroundings exclaimed in surprise. Sure enough, they'd noticed this as well, so they all withdrew their laws. However, without the laws, it was much more difficult for saints to withstand the lightning. They could only rely on their physique and sacred artifacts. Lin Xian appeared to be much more relaxed. Even if he did not use the laws, just his 9 yang divine body was incomparably powerful. For example, Murong Qingcheng and the others took out their sacred artifacts to resist. In fact, Lin Xian even formed a seal, forming an illusion of 9 suns that directly enveloped Murong Qingcheng and the other two. The 3 of them also heaved a sigh of relief. With such a powerful defense, they were not worried anymore. However, Lin Xian's eyes emitted a golden light as he looked in all directions. Who knew what kind of changes would occur in such a terrifying array formation? Not long after, he took a deep breath because he had noticed some changes. He discovered that some lightning bolts had suddenly emerged in the depths of the Sea of Lightning. The lightning bolts were extremely terrifying, as if they had turned into the shape of swords. They carried a violent aura. Lin Xian was extremely shocked. Sword-shaped lightning? This was an extremely terrifying existence among the lightning bolts. Once they encountered it, they would be extremely powerful. Even Lin Xian did not dare to be careless in the face of such lightning bolts. The others also gradually discovered it because these sword-shaped lightning bolts were like flying arrows, flying over and swaying in the surroundings. Murong Qingcheng took a deep breath, and a hint of caution appeared in her beautiful eyes. She could clearly feel the powerful energy coming from above. The others also cried out in alarm. Some of them even made a move. Immediately, the sword-shaped lightning exploded. The front was engulfed by the lightning, and many people vomited blood as they were sent flying. In an instant, countless cries of alarm rang out. Lin Xian's expression was also grave. What should he do? Yu Shijie frowned and asked. She was of the water element and was very restrained by the lightning bolts. Leave these lightning bolts to me. Others might be afraid, but Lin Xian was indeed incomparably happy. This was the best power to temper his body. Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body needed to be tempered thousands of times. Now that he had encountered these lightning bolts, how could he miss them? With a wave of his hand, countless laws flew out in all directions, immediately triggering the sword-shaped lightning bolts. Endless lightning exploded and enveloped him, causing countless people to turn their heads. In the next moment, they cried out in alarm. No way. Was there someone so stupid? Humph, he's dead. A cold laugh rang out. However, in the Sea of Lightning, Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body bloomed with incomparable light. Strange patterns appeared on it one after another, as if it had turned into a golden vortex, and it began to absorb the power of the lightning. Gradually, the surrounding lightning disappeared, and Lin Xian's figure appeared. Above his body, there were still arcs of electricity flashing, making rumbling sounds. It was really terrifying. Lin Xian was shocked. Although the process seemed simple, the pain during the process was no less than the lightning tribulation. If it weren't for his strong will, he wouldn't have been able to endure it. When the surrounding people saw another person walk out of the Sea of Lightning, they immediately cried out in alarm. No way. That guy actually blocked it. It's that kid. Damn it. How is his body so strong? The surrounding experts cried out in alarm, and deep shock appeared in their eyes. Those who could come here were all geniuses among geniuses, but even they didn't dare to resist the sword lightning, not to mention attracting so much lightning. However, Lin Xian dared to do it, and he was unharmed. He even used the lightning to temper his body. It was really enviable. Next, Lin Xian used this method to open up a path. He stood in front of the group and attracted all the sword lightning in the surroundings to him. He continued to temper and absorb it. Behind him, Murong Qingcheng and the other two passed through safely. Gradually, Lin Xian came to the depths of the Sea of Lightning. His speed had also slowed down. After all, after absorbing so many thunderbolts, his body was also under great pressure. In the end, he couldn't absorb any more. Lin Xian exhaled. His exhalation was filled with terrifying lightning. He didn't know when he would reach the end. Shun Jingqiu frowned slightly. They walked for a distance, and then Lin Xian stopped. There seemed to be a situation. Shun Jingqiu frowned again, and her cosmic form appeared behind her. Chapter 4293. Lin Xian gave a signal to the hillmen to pay attention. At the same time, the golden light in his eyes shone again as he looked into the depths of the Sea of Lightning. In the next moment, he was stunned. He gasped and even took a step back. That was because he saw that in the depths of the sea of lightning, endless lightning intertwined and formed a human-shaped lightning. The human-shaped lightning was also formed by lightning, but its power was even more terrifying than the lightning formed by swords. Generally speaking, human-shaped lightning was very rare. It would only appear in the heavenly punishment. Who would have thought that a human-shaped lightning would appear here? Morong Ching-chung and the others gasped when they heard about it. Their nerves became extremely tense. What should we do? Shin Jingqiu asked. That things seemed to be targeting them. Indeed, the human-shaped lightning in front of them was staring at them like lightning. It made their scalps tingle. Even Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body could not convert such a powerful lightning into energy and absorb it. So he could only think of another way. Lin Xian said, "Let me do it." He walked out and took out a devouring treasure bottle. It was given to him by unparalleled Sage King. Previously, it could absorb the power of the sacred hall and devour it. Who knows whether or not he could store the lightning of this person in it. In the next moment, Lin Xian activated the devouring treasure bottle and flew forward. The devouring treasure bottle shot out a devouring light. A black hole kept spinning and shrouded the human-shaped lightning. It wanted to devour it. The human-shaped lightning took a step forward. Unparalleled lightning exploded from its body, causing the surrounding space to crack. The terrifying destructive aura made everyone's scalps tingle. Even Lin Xian's face changed. Not good. The aura was too strong. To be honest, he was not confident. If unparalleled Sage King was here, he would definitely have a way to deal with the human-shaped lightning. But now, there was only the devouring treasure bottle. No one would know. Fortunately, the human-shaped lightning had only just formed. Thus, it was still swallowed by the treasure-devouring bottle in the end. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief and sealed the devouring treasure bottle. Did he succeed? Yu Shichia's face paled. Morong Ching-chung was indeed a little happy. This was great. If he encountered those powerful enemies in the future, he could directly release the humanoid lightning. Indeed, Lin Xian also nodded. He also had the same idea. After all, the enemy he was facing now was too powerful. Many of them were late-stage holy venerables, and some even had holy king weapons. Now that he had the humanoid lightning, it could be considered as another trump card. In the future, if he really encountered a difficult opponent, he could release the humanoid lightning. Let's go. They continued their journey. Without the threat of the human-shaped lightning, their speed increased again. However, after half a day, they stopped again. Lin Xian was shocked. As he spoke, he quickly stopped and retracted all of his aura. After that, Morong Ching-chung and the others were stunned. They didn't understand what was going on. However, he still completely concealed his aura. Lin Xian was the same. It was as if they didn't exist. His eyes, however, blossomed with extremely terrifying golden runes as he looked into the distance. In the distance, there was a figure in the sea of lightning. The aura he emitted was abnormally special. Morong Ching-chung and the others also saw that figure. They were immediately shocked. Who was that figure? She was too surprised because she found that his aura was completely different from that of the other people in the holy city. Who exactly was that person? Was there anyone else here other than them? Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. He felt a sense of danger. So he said, "Let's go." The few of them quietly retreated. However, at this moment, the mysterious silhouette in front suddenly turned around. A frightening ray of light shot toward them. Who was that? With a low shout, the surrounding lightning was continuously destroyed. At the same time, Lin Xian felt a powerful gaze piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. He sighed. This was not good. This person was too powerful. With their current cultivation, there was no way they could hide at all. Thinking of that, he took out the void beast's skin and covered the few of them. Then he used his spatial magic and quickly left. In front of them, the mysterious figure did not discover anyone, but his brows were tightly furrowed. A low voice was heard. The laws of space. Humph! He snorted coldly, and then his figure gradually disappeared. At the same time, on the other side of the lightning, Lin Xian and the others were hiding in the void. They were extremely nervous. After waiting for a while, they realized that no one was chasing after them. This made them sigh in relief. It was too dangerous. They did not expect that this ancient battlefield would be so terrifying. There was actually such a person. Lin Xian felt that the other party's aura was no weaker than that of a holy ruler. Could it be that there was really a holy ruler here? Who exactly was that person? Shun Jingqiu was also puzzled. Lin Xian shook his head. Forget it. Let's not bother about him. It's best not to meet that person again. That person is very dangerous. Let's go. It seems that we are very close to the pagoda. The few of them nodded and continued on their way. They continued to fly toward the pagoda. Finally, they saw a black figure standing in front of them. It was the pagoda. The few of them smiled. Lin Xian realized that they were not the only ones who had come. There were many figures around them, and these people's auras were abnormally powerful. Obviously, these people had their own trump cards, which was why they could come here. Of course, in the process, some people must have died in the sea of lightning. The appearance of Lin Xian and the others attracted the attention of others. Everyone turned their heads again. At the same time, another person came out from behind. This place was becoming more and more lively. Those people snorted coldly and ignored Lin Xian. Instead, they continued to look at the pagoda in front of them. A hint of passion appeared in their eyes. And at the entrance of the pagoda, there were already a few figures standing there. These people's auras were even more powerful. Among them were the Primordial Grotto, the people from Thunder God City, and the Kunlun Pavilion. The Primordial Grotto. They turned their heads and stared at Lin Xian, their eyes erupting with biting, cold, killing intent. However, the people from the Kunlun Pavilion were delighted. They saw the Morong Qingqing. Is that kid going to make a move? The faces of the people from the Primordial Grotto became incomparably cold. Ignore that guy. I've already entered the pagoda myself. Anyway, that kid can't escape from this ancient battlefield. It won't be too late to kill him after we obtain the treasure. The few of them discussed and decided to make a move on the pagoda first. Lin Xian and the others met up with the people from the Kunlun Pavilion. The few of them heaved a sigh of relief. With the powerful existence of the Kunlun Pavilion here, they did not have to worry about being ambushed for the time being. How is this place? Morong Qingqing asked. An old man from the Kunlun Pavilion said, although we're here, there's clearly a seal at the entrance of the pagoda. I'm afraid we have to break it before we can enter. Lin Xian activated his heavenly secret ability to observe. He discovered that there was indeed a mysterious force at the entrance of the pagoda. At the same time, his pupils constricted. Chapter 4294. Lin Xian sensed that there was still a force around him, which made him shocked. The others couldn't sense it, but Lin Xian's Tianji child prodigy could clearly sense that the danger was getting closer and closer. Lin Xian's face was pale. He said, not good. I think we should retreat first. Retreat? The people of Kunlun Pavilion were stunned. What was going on? Some of them had a look of disdain in their eyes. Was this the legendary Lin Wudi? Why was he so timid? The saintess of Kunlun Pavilion was with such a person? Those who had such thoughts were all the young geniuses of Kunlun. After all, they also hoped to win the attention of Morong Qingqing. So, at this moment, they all looked at Lin Xian with disdain. The experts of Kunlun Pavilion also frowned. A middle-aged man asked, what did Lin Gongzi discover? There's a dangerous aura approaching. I think we should leave this place first. Dangerous aura? A few of them were stunned. There were even late-stage Saint Venerables among them. They carefully sensed, and then said, "We didn't find anything." Murong Qingcheng said, "We believe in Brother Xian. Let's leave this place first." All right, those experts nodded. Since even the saintess had said so, they would first retreat to a certain distance. Some of the young geniuses were very unhappy. "Humph, I want to see if there's any danger." How could this kid continue to pretend? These people quickly retreated. It seemed like they wanted to leave the pagoda. This scene caused the surrounding people to be shocked. The people of Immemorial Grotto turned their heads and revealed a look of confusion. What was going on? One of them sneered. "They must be afraid of us attacking them. How could these trash be our match?" Their eyes were filled with disdain. However, at this moment, the void split open. An extremely terrifying aura surged out and rushed in all directions. Then, a terrifying black shadow appeared and slammed down. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The people of Immemorial Grotto and Thunder God City were directly sent flying. They vomited large mouthfuls of blood. What was going on? The surrounding people were so frightened that their scalps went numb. They felt the terrifying aura, and their expressions became extremely ugly. In fact, they even saw 2 late-stage, holy exalted experts being sent flying. The people of the Kunlun Pavilion were also stunned. Soon, they broke out in cold sweat. If they hadn't retreated back then, perhaps they would be the ones vomiting blood right now. When they thought of this, their faces were filled with shock. Those older generation figures took a deep breath and said, "Many thanks to Lin Gongzi for the reminder." The young sky prides of the Kunlun Pavilion also turned pale. Previously, they had mocked Lin Xian for being a coward. Who would have thought that Lin Xian had really detected the danger? But they didn't know anything. What right did they have to laugh at such a person? For a moment, those people put away their contempt. Lin Xian shook his head. His frown deepened. The reason for that was because the energy fluctuation coming from the front was simply too terrifying. Everyone looked up. In the next moment, they saw a bone claw appear in the void. It was a white bone claw that floated there. It was abnormally terrifying. However, there was only one palm and nothing else. This caused everyone to be stunned. Could a palm easily injure a late-stage, holy exalted? Then, whose palm was this? Was it left behind by a saint king? Everyone was bewildered. They carefully examined it and found that the palm's aura was very strong. However, the surface was already in tatters. It was clear that after countless years, it was no longer the same as it used to be. This made everyone heave a sigh of relief. If it was a complete palm, none of them would be able to block it. But now, it was covered in cracks. They might be able to resist it. Damn it! The people of the Immemorial Grotto flew over from afar. Their expressions were ugly, and there was blood on their bodies. Among them, a few experts stared at the white bone palm. Their eyes shone with a piercing cold light. "It's just a guardian palm. How dare it injure us?" The experts of Thunder God City also flew over and gritted their teeth. If it wasn't for it being too sudden, how could they have been injured? These people's eyes were cold. Then someone said, "Let's go. Let's break this guardian palm together and enter the pagoda." It's actually a guardian palm? Shen Jingqiu was also shocked. Then she said, "Big Brother Xian, I've heard some legends about this guardian palm. It's a treasure refined by a powerful existence after its death. It's used to protect. Guardian palms usually have a guardian light on them. If Fang Yu could absorb it, he would become even stronger. Although this guardian palm is already shattered, there should still be a guardian light on it. If you are able to do so, your 9-yang divine body and physique might be able to become stronger again." Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Really? That's great. If that was the case, then he had to fight for it. Thinking of this, a piercing cold light appeared in his eyes. However, when he saw the countless experts around him, he said, "There's no rush. Let's wait and see." Indeed, there were many people here. Furthermore, those who could come were all peak experts. Many of them were late-stage experts and had many trump cards. These people quickly made their moves. Lei Shensheng and the people from the immemorial grotto quickly made their moves. Terrifying laws and mystiques surged forward. These people had joined forces at this moment. Clearly, they wanted to break through the protective palm and enter the pagoda. Buzz. The sound of the ground shaking could be heard. The guardian palm released light and swept out. The multicolored light on it was too terrifying. With one strike, it split the world. Boom, boom, boom. The guardian palm clashed with the surrounding magic skills and laws. Terrifying sounds of thunder rang out. Clumps of energy spread out in all directions. Many people retreated. Lin Xian looked forward. His eyes shone with incomparable light. He was prepared to make his move at any moment. This was because he knew that although the guardian palm was strong, it would not be able to last long under the attacks of so many experts. Indeed, the ones leading the charge were late-stage holy venerates. They had rich battle experience. Every time they attacked the shattered parts of the guardian palm. This caused the cracks on the guardian palm to become even more terrifying. However, these people were secretly on guard against each other. They were afraid of being sneak attacked. Thus, they did not use their full strength. Even so, it did not take long for the cracks on the guardian palm to become extremely terrifying. Then, with a gotcha sound, a crack appeared. That palm was torn to pieces, about to shatter. Chapter 4295. Seeing this scene, the late-stage Saint Venerables were the same. Their eyes shone with a cold light. They could naturally feel the extremely strong power in it. They had to get that power. At the same time, Lin Xian's eyes also shone with an incomparable light. He was also about to make a move to snatch the guardian light. Buzz. This time, he directly used the void escape to appear in front of Yi Fuqian in an instant. Then he grabbed the guardian light with his palm. This sudden turn of events caused everyone to be stunned. No one dared to believe that someone dared to snatch food from the tiger's mouth in front of this group of experts. Was he tired of living? The eyes of the experts also shone with a cold light. Their gazes pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. "It's you. You reckless thing. We wanted to let you go, but you dared to snatch what we wanted." The eyes of the old man from the immemorial grotto burst with cold, killing intent. The faces of the others also sank. Facing so many threats and encirclement, Lin Xian was not afraid. Countless runes appeared on his palm to seal it. Soon, he completely grasped the guardian light. It was a ball of light that bloomed with a mysterious light. Lin Xian smirked as he sensed the power emanating from it. "Very well, I'll take it." With a flip of his hand, he put it away. "How dare you?" This action directly angered the surrounding people. Their eyes shone with a terrifying aura, and a monstrous power swept out. "What? You want to fight?" Lin Xian looked around and sneered. "The guardian light is not yours. I got it with my own ability. What are you unhappy about?" Damn it. The people from the immemorial grotto were so angry that they vomited blood. They were the ones who shattered it, but the other party rushed up last. They wanted to kill him immediately. However, at this moment, the people from the Kunlun Pavilion also walked over and stood behind Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "I'll take it. If you're unhappy, you can fight. I'll accompany you to the end." He exuded a powerful aura. What should they do? These people discussed. Naturally, it was to kill him. The people from the Taiga Grotto gritted their teeth. They definitely couldn't tolerate someone snatching their treasures from them. However, one of Lei Shun's experts frowned. This brat was extremely strange. He had many cards in his hands. They were really going to fight. We may not be able to kill him. And now he has the Kunlun Pavilion behind him. Now was not the time to kill it. It was better to enter the pagoda first. Damn it. The people from the archaic grotto gritted their teeth. They could only say that they would let him live a little longer. The people from the primordial grotto waved their hands and charged towards the pagoda. The surrounding people were stunned. They couldn't believe that these sacred cities didn't make a move against Lin Xian. Were these people afraid of Lin Xian? When they thought of this possibility, their faces were filled with shock. However, they quickly regained their senses and rushed toward the pagoda. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He smiled, took out the light of protection, and began to absorb it. He could feel that his body had become stronger again. After a period of time, he said, "Let's go and see what treasures are in this pagoda. Maybe we can find a few more sacred king wills." The group of people flashed and rushed inside. Previously, the light of protection was still at the entrance, but now the bow of protection was gone, so they didn't encounter any obstruction. After entering, they realized that the first level was extremely vast. It was like a world of its own. It was much bigger than they had imagined. There were many passageways inside, and there were even various secret chambers arranged in various ways. It was dazzling. Some people rushed into the secret chamber at the side, but they soon rushed back. After searching more than 10 secret chambers in a row, these people came out and said angrily, "Damn it, there's nothing." They originally thought that there should be countless treasures inside, but now they didn't find anything. The people from the Kunlun Pavilion also went to check, but their expressions weren't good. Lin Xian used the heavenly secret child prodigy. At the same time, someone said, "Could it be that they're all here? Damn it, who did it? How could they be so fast?" An elder of the Kunlun Pavilion said, "The light of protection is still there. If it was there before, no one should have come in. Let's go. There's nothing on the first level. Let's go to the second level." Lin Xian looked around, then shook his head. The members of the Kunlun Pavilion also held Lin Xian in high regard. Therefore, they all nodded in agreement to his words. "Let's go to the second level then." After the others searched around, they didn't find anything, so they went to the second level. However, there was nothing on the second level. Apart from that, the third and fourth levels were the same. Finally, they came to the fifth level. The expressions of these people were already extremely unsightly. Could it be that there's nothing in the pagoda? Damn it. Did the people from before come and take it away? Because they knew that as the third level of the Tao discussion, this wasn't the first time someone had entered the primordial battlefield. Before this, other people who had participated in the Tao discussion must have been here before. If they can't take it out, is there nothing here before? But it doesn't seem like it. There are no traces of anyone here. For a moment, everyone frowned. There was nothing on the fifth level too, so they were going crazy. Lin Xian's brows were tightly furrowed as he looked around. Suddenly, he looked at the wall. There were some marks there, which seemed to be traces of a fight. Lin Xian walked forward and looked carefully. "Let's go and take a look." The geniuses of the Kunlun Pavilion knew how terrifying Lin Xian's eye technique was, so they quickly followed him. One of the geniuses looked forward carefully. There were some traces of a fight on the wall, and one of them was a blade mark. Although the mark was very faint, the genius was sent flying while coughing up blood. "What's going on?" The others were stunned, and they all used their laws to defend themselves. The people of the Kunlun Pavilion were also shocked, and they quickly helped the genius up. The experts of the Kunlun Pavilion asked, "What happened? Who attacked you?" That person said, "Blade mark." There was a terrifying aura left on it. After saying that, his face turned even paler. "What? Blade marks?" The surrounding people looked over, and Lin Xian was even more nervous. He was the closest, so he knew best. The genius from before stretched out his soul, and shrouded the blade mark, wanting to examine it carefully. However, as soon as the soul approached, it exploded with an extremely powerful great Tao, injuring him. Chapter 4296. This great Tao was very terrifying. It had obviously surpassed the Holy Venerate and was left behind by the Holy King. It seemed that it was related to the Holy King's will. The others also looked over. When their souls approached, they felt an extremely strong power of the great path permeating the air. They didn't dare to act rashly. It was the Holy King's will. This mark was related to the Holy King's will. These people's eyes were all red. It seemed that it wasn't that there were no treasures here, but that there was a huge treasure. It was even possible that the Holy King's will was here. Thinking of this, the atmosphere in many holy cities began to change. Terrifying power flowed between heaven and earth. It seemed that a big battle was about to break out. At this moment, the people from Thunder God's city frowned. He said, "You don't want a shocking battle to happen, right? So, I have a suggestion." "What suggestion do you have?" The people from returning Origin Palace asked coldly. A middle-aged man walked out from Thunder God City. His name was Lei Qiansa. He was very strong. At this moment, he swept his gaze and said in a deep voice, "There are so many of us, and it's very likely that there's only one Holy King's will. So I think it's better to rely on our own opportunities. Every holy city will send people up to communicate with the Holy King's will. Whoever can get the approval will get this thing." As soon as these words were spoken, everyone started to discuss. Thunder God City actually made such a request. It seemed that there were many people from Thunder God City who came this time. No matter how strong their confidence was, some people were also unwilling to rashly start a battle. After all, at their level, once a battle started, the consequences would be very tragic. I agree. The people from Taiga Grotto stood up and nodded. They were also very confident about this. No one else objected. Since that was the case, let's begin. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone took a deep breath. It seemed that everyone only had one chance, and no one dared to try it easily. After all, the domineering power that came from above made everyone's hair stand on end. No one dared to come? Then I'll do it. An expert from the Grand Valley Grotto walked out, attracting the attention of countless people. Everyone held their breaths. The middle-aged man's expression was also solemn. He extended his soul and surged forward. On the wall in front of him, other than a saber mark, there was also a mark and a terrifying fragment. This saint of Taigu Grotto knew how domineering the saber mark was. Therefore, he didn't dare to look at the saber mark. Instead, he enveloped the mark with his soul. His soul enveloped it, but he didn't feel any danger, which made him feel relieved. In the next moment, a smile appeared on his face as he walked forward. The others also held their breaths. Could it be that this guy was the first to try and obtain a great opportunity? However, Lin Xian's pupils shrank as he sneered. "Idiot!" The people from the primordial grotto were proud. In their eyes, Lin Xian was jealous. However, in the next moment, they were dumbfounded. The imprint suddenly exploded like the shadow of a god, instantly piercing through the saint's sovereign's body. With a bang, the Lord was sent flying, and a transparent mark appeared on his body. The sudden appearance of this scene really shocked everyone. What's going on? Was this mark also so terrifying? At this moment, everyone's faces turned ugly. Only Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Since you're trash, get out." He waved his sleeve, and a gust of wind blew that person away. Damn it. The faces of the people from the primordial grotto became extremely ugly. Was the other party provoking them? However, they didn't make a move. They all wanted to see what this kid had to be so arrogant. Was Lin Wudi going to make a move? Everyone became nervous. They didn't know if Lin Wudi could do it. How could this kid do it? Who did he think he was? Even so, He couldn't withstand such a violent power. Amidst everyone's discussion, Lin Xian walked over. In the next moment, a piercing light burst out from his eyes and surged forward. His target was also this mark. When his golden gaze landed on the mark, he didn't feel any threat. He knew that this mark was extremely terrifying. Sure enough, in the next moment, a terrifying aura came from the mark. The power was like 10,000 horses galloping, about to shatter heaven and earth. The void around Lin Xian kept shattering. The powerful aura pressed down on the surrounding people until they couldn't breathe. It was so terrifying. The surrounding people all raised their defenses to resist. Morong Qingcheng and the others were also extremely nervous. Lin Xian, are you okay? Lin Xian felt a huge force enveloping him, as if his body was about to be torn apart. Block it! In the next moment, his black hair danced wildly, and the golden light on his body bloomed into the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Then, he also punched out. This punch seemed to be able to topple mountains and overturn seas, covering the sky and earth as it charged forward. It collided fiercely with the mark, and it was as if thunder rang out. The terrifying power shattered the void. Lin Xian's face became incomparably pale. His body also began to tremble. Seeing this scene, everyone became nervous. The people from the Primordial Grotto and Thunder God City revealed a cold smile, just as they had thought. How could this brat possibly withstand it? However, soon their smiles froze, because they found that Lin Xian's body had stabilized again. The fist was like the sun, and it was even more dazzling. As for the power of the imprint, it was slowly disappearing. How could it be? This kid blocked it. Did he get recognition? A look of shock appeared in their eyes. In the next moment, they burst out with a fierce aura and then rushed forward. At the same time, Lin Xian's eyes were also flickering. To be honest, the moment he collided with the mark just now, he saw a shocking scene. It was an ancient battlefield. During the Primordial Age, there was a terrifying figure who was like a god. He struck out a mark, and that strike seemed to have fallen from the sky. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. It could overturn the sky. The mark finally blasted into the wall. In the blur, a voice could be heard. It was called the Seal of the Human Ruler. Lin Xian gasped. The Seal of the Human Ruler should be the name of the mark. It seemed that it was indeed left behind by a sage ruler. Buzz. Light flickered, and the mark flew over from the wall, blooming with incomparable light, and floated towards Lin Xian. Then it floated in the void. This scene caused countless people to exclaim. Could it be that this mark was also the will of a sage ruler? They felt that it was really too incredible. Lin Xian was also overjoyed. He didn't expect that he would obtain another will of a sage ruler. At the same time, he also obtained a unique skill, the Seal of the Human Ruler. Thinking of this, he stretched out his golden hand and grabbed in front of the control panel. However, in the next moment, an extremely terrifying killing intent came from behind him, as if it was going to pierce through him. Chapter 42-97. Sensing the killing intent, Lin Xian frowned. The others, especially Morong Qingcheng and the others, became extremely nervous because they realized that the people of Thunder God City from the Primordial Grotto had made their move. At this critical moment, Lin Xian fused with the mark. At the same time, he used his space magic and disappeared into the void. 2 terrifying attacks tore everything apart. However, they only hit an afterimage. Damn it, did that kid run away? Don't worry, his people are still here. They can't run far. The eyes of the people of Thunder God City flashed with lightning. The 2 of them looked in all directions. Sure enough, in the next moment, they saw Lin Xian appear in another space. Kid, hand over the thing, and I'll spare your life, the people of Primordial Grotto said, in a cold voice. What if I don't hand it over? Lin Xian snorted. At this moment, his palm had already fused with the mark. He felt a terrifying aura flowing quickly. In his mind, he was also quickly accepting the inheritance of this divine ability. Not good, hurry up. He has completely fused with the thing. The people of Thunder God City saw this scene and roared in anger. Lei Qian's body flickered, and he instantly charged forward. A terrifying force exploded like a sea of thunder and spread in all directions. The surrounding people's faces changed. Retreat quickly. They knew that a great battle was about to break out. The surrounding people were pushed far away. Fortunately, the space inside the pagoda was big enough. Even so, they still put up their defenses to resist. Lei Tiance turned into a bolt of lightning and charged directly at Lin Xian. In an instant, he appeared in front of Lin Xian. Then, he threw a fierce punch. Buzz. Lin Xian waved his hand, and boundless flames jumped, forming a huge flaming mountain in front of him. With a clang, the lightning fist collided with the flaming mountain, erupting with unparalleled power. The entire pagoda shook violently. However, the flaming mountain did not shatter. This kid's physique is too strong. Countless people sucked in a breath of cold air. Lei Qiansa was a late-stage Saint Venerable, while Lin Xian was only a mid-stage Saint Venerable. There was a difference of one realm between them. Their physiques were actually on par with each other. It was truly unbelievable. Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body was originally very powerful. In addition, he had absorbed the protective light earlier, so he did not directly use his palm. Instead, he used the flames to form a huge mountain to block it. This meant that his physique had become even stronger than before. This guardian light is really a good item. It would be great if I could get more of it, Lin Xian thought to himself. On the other side, Lei Qian's face turned extremely cold. Damn it, the other party was actually so strong. Is that all you've got? It's not that impressive. No wonder you couldn't obtain the Sage King's will. When he heard Lin Xian sneer, Lei Qiansa was thoroughly enraged. He roared, and the laws on his body surged. Thunder Tyrant Fist. Terrifying bolts of lightning kept spinning before rapidly interweaving with one another. Next, countless bolts of lightning transformed into a massive fist. It contained a violent, destructive aura. Then, it ruthlessly attacked Lin Xian. Many people cried out in surprise. This was a very domineering fist technique. When a late-stage Saint Venerable used it, it was definitely terrifying. Most people of the same level would not dare to take it head-on. Murong Qingcheng and the others looked very serious and nervous. On the other side, the ancient grotto revealed a cold smile. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He could naturally feel the terrifying power of this fist. In the next moment, he even raised his hand and formed a seal. Then he pressed it forward. This palm seemed ordinary. It did not seem to contain any power. It was very light. Countless people were shocked. This kid had already given up on resisting. However, in the next moment, the seal changed. The seal emitted an extremely terrifying aura. It contained a violent power, as if it was the ruler of the world. Then, it fiercely slammed forward. When the surrounding people felt the change in the aura, their faces all changed. How was this possible? Everyone was going crazy. How did the other party know such a powerful martial art? Lei Qian's face changed. Damn it. He realized that he had felt this power before. It came from the palm's shadow. Now that the other party could use it, what did it mean? Did the other party completely get it? As he was immersed in astonishment, the seal descended and penetrated the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Then it collided with the Thunder Tyrant Fist. Boom! The two forces collided, and the great path of the world exploded. Everyone felt their hearts tremble. Some people could not help but want to kneel down. Crack! In the terrifying scene, cracks appeared on the Thunder Tyrant Fist. Then the Thunder Law runes shattered. Lei Qiansa was also sent flying. He kept roaring and spitting out blood. His face became very ugly. The surrounding people were all stunned. Their eyes were wide open. They could not believe it. Was the thunderous tyrant fist broken? That was an extremely domineering fist technique. What exactly was the seal that the other party used? Why did it feel even more terrifying? The people from the primordial grotto frowned. Damn it, what was going on? Did the kid get the inheritance? Lei Qiansa also roared crazily. You can use that seal. You got it. That's right. What else do you want to ask? I'll tell you everything. When you know everything, I'll send you on your way. Lin Xian's cold voice rang out. A cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. Was this kid going to kill him? Lei Qiansa was also shocked, but soon his face turned cold. So what if he got it? I can capture you and take your soul. I can get it all the same. Kill. With a roar, his black hair fluttered. Lightning surrounded his body as he attacked again. This punch swept across the sky. It was very terrifying. It pressed forward with indomitable will. He was completely enraged. He even used the secret technique of Thunder God City. Lin Xian sneered. He activated his power and used the human ruler's seal again. He was like a divine king that looked down on the 9 heavens. When the terrifying hand fell, it could overturn the sky. Boom! Another shocking blow. The void shattered, and the galaxy turned upside down. There was not a single space that was intact. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, the lightning fist was shattered again. Blood rained down from the sky. Lei Qiansa's hair was disheveled as he vomited blood and was sent flying. His arm was also deformed. There were cracks all over it. The crowd did not expect that it was the same imprint that had injured Lei Qiansa. What kind of power was that? Lin Xian snorted. Lightning appeared under his feet. He was extremely fast and appeared in front of the other party. It was the human ruler's seal again. It was like a golden sky that fell down. Boom. This attack directly sent the other party flying. The other party's body was shattered into pieces. It made everyone's scalp go numb. At this moment, Lei Qiansa roared and spat out a thunder drum. The thunder drum shook. Endless lightning exploded and shot up to the 9 heavens. In the end, it turned into a thunder god that charged over. Lin Xian did not care. The human ruler's seal fell. At the same time, the 10 ultimate sword formation flew out. The thunder god's phantom trembled. Chapter 4298. Boom. The terrifying man-ruler seal continued to descend. It was as if it could topple mountains and overturn seas, causing the sky to crumble and the earth to crack. Lei Qiansa's attack couldn't be blocked at all, unless he took out a true Saint Ruler weapon. But he didn't have one, so his body was torn apart again. Primordial Grotto, are you still not going to attack? He roared crazily. The people from the Primordial Grotto were also very serious. One of them snorted and attacked. It was the old man from the Primordial Grotto. He immediately attacked with terrifying laws. Like countless lightning bolts, he charged at Lin Xian. Each attack could kill a holy venerate. Such an attack was really terrifying. Buzz. Lin Xian waved his hands and formed a Taiji diagram. It kept spinning and blocked all the laws. At the same time, the Taiji diagram exploded again. It turned into a terrifying Taiji sword light that kept flashing. He also used the 10 ultimate sword formation, which swept out in all directions. At this moment, Lei Qiansa found an opportunity. He roared, and his broken body recovered. He also charged over. 2 late-stage Saint Sovereigns working together to fight Lin Xian. Countless people were shocked. No matter how powerful someone was, they wouldn't be able to block it. Shun Jingqiu and the others' expressions changed. They wanted to charge over, but Lin Xian transmitted his voice to them. "No need, I can handle it." He roared, and demonic qi filled the sky. He took out the great destruction and swept it. It turned into a black demonic dragon and flew out. As if it was splitting the sky and earth, a terrifying power blasted forward. The two were sent flying and vomited blood. Their faces were filled with shock. The surrounding people were also stunned. Lin Xian had sent 2 late-stage Saint Sovereigns flying with one move. That was too heaven-defying. However, the others felt their scalps go numb. That aura was a Saint Ruler weapon. He actually had a Saint Ruler weapon. That was unbelievable. As expected, Lei Qiansa and the old man from the primordial grotto had ugly expressions. They originally thought that the two of them could easily kill their opponent. They didn't expect their opponent to have such a trump card. Kill. The two of them roared and unleashed their strongest power. If he could kill the other party, not only would he be able to obtain the human ruler's imprint, but he would also be able to obtain a Saint Ruler's weapon. However, not long after, they broke down and quickly fled. The reason for that was because they discovered that they were simply unable to withstand it. The cooperation between the other party and the Saint King's weapon was too strong. Countless cracks appeared on the bodies of the two of them. If the two of them were not powerful late-stage holy venerables, they would have been killed long ago. Buzz. Another attack pierced through Lei Qiansa's body. His body exploded once again, turning into a bloody mist. Too powerful. The people around were shocked when they heard the cries. Before such power, even a late-stage holy venerate was nothing. Lin Xian had the complete upper hand in a 1-on-2 fight, beating the two powerhouses to the point that they kept running away. However, this place was completely sealed by the 10 ultimate sword formation. For a moment, the two of them were unable to escape. The others were shocked. Even the Kunlun Pavilion was dumbfounded. At this moment of crisis, 2 figures appeared outside the Universal Tower. The moment the two of them appeared, they froze the Universal Tower. The next moment, they sped up and instantly entered the Universal Tower. Then, 2 terrifying powers erupted. Everything was destroyed. Many people were sent flying. Lin Xianxian was also pushed back. The sword aura in front of him continued to shatter. Even the mountain that he had created was also cracked. In the end, he used the Great Destruction Spear to block the terrifying attacks. Then, his face turned completely gloomy. The others also exclaimed. A top expert had come. Moreover, he had brought a Saint King's weapon. The next moment, everyone looked up. 2 figures appeared in the void in front of him. When the 2 figures appeared, many people gasped. The elder from the ancient grotto heaved a sigh of relief. He said, "Elder, you came at the right time. Quickly kill that brat. He has a Saint King's banner." The elder who had just arrived had an abnormally terrifying aura. Beside him was a man in purple. After the purple-clothed man stared at Lin Xian, an extremely terrifying killing intent erupted. "Lin Xian, it's actually you? Great. Today is the day of your death." He shouted coldly, and a Yellow Springs diagram appeared on his body. It kept bobbing up and down, and a terrifying cold aura flowed down. A Saint King's weapon. Everyone was terrified. They didn't expect the other party to bring a Saint King's weapon. "What? Do you think you can contend against me just because you have a Saint King's weapon? How laughable!" Lin Xian snorted. He also had the Great Destruction Spear in his hand. "Is that so? Then what about this?" The elder from the ancient grotto took a step forward. Immediately, an extremely terrifying aura erupted from his body. A small tower appeared in his hand. It was incomparably terrifying, as if it was made of strange stones. It was abnormally terrifying. Stone tower. It was also a Saint King's weapon. The moment the 2 Saint King's weapons appeared, they swept in all directions and suppressed the monstrous demonic aura. At this moment, everyone's expressions changed. They knew that Lin Xian was dead for sure. Under such an attack, the other party would definitely not be able to survive. The expressions of the people from the Kunlun Pavilion also changed. Murong Qingqing walked out. In her hand, there was a cyan phantom that kept spinning. It emitted a terrifying aura. Do you think we don't have any trump cards on our side? Murong Qingqing threw out the green phantom. It was a huge mountain that floated between heaven and earth, carrying a primordial aura. The surrounding people exclaimed again, Kunlun Mountain. This was also a Saint King's weapon. The 4 Saint King's weapons collided between heaven and earth. Everyone retreated. At this moment, no one dared to stay here. Only 4 figures confronted each other. Senior, go and stop the people from the Kunlun Pavilion. I want to kill this kid with my own hands. Ziming said coldly. The elder from the ancient grotto brought the stone tower to fight against the Kunlun Mountain. On the other side, Ziming directly charged over. The Yellow Springs gourd in his hand kept falling. The endless Yellow Springs water rose and fell. Heaven and earth rumbled. Everyone was shocked. It was too powerful. Once a Saint King's weapon was used, even a late-stage Saint Venerable could not resist. Unless they also had a Saint King's weapon in their hands, they could not resist. Lin Xian also roared and waved the Great Destruction Spear. The battle between the two shook heaven and earth. This was a world-shaking battle. Both sides were evenly matched. No one could do anything to the other. However, at that moment Lei Qiansa and the old man from the immemorial grotto rushed over again. They wanted to sneak attack Lin Xian. They did not know what was good for them. Lin Xian waved the 10 Fatality sword and slashed out, creating a large crack. It blocked the attacks of the two. At the same time, the Great Destruction Spear shot out a demonic light and instantly sent the two flying. However, in the next moment, his pupils shrank. A killing sword directly slashed his body and sent him flying. Chapter 4299. This sword strike was extremely terrifying, causing cracks to appear on Lin Xian's body. He retreated, his face pale, and an extremely cold, killing intent burst out from his eyes. The surrounding people also exclaimed in surprise. Lin Xian was actually injured. Who did it? It was too unbelievable. They all turned their heads to look, but in the next moment, they actually did not see who it was. Lin Xian frowned. It was a Saint Slayer, and an extremely powerful one at that. Could it be that the people from the mortal world had come again? A golden light burst out from his eyes, and it was rarely seen in all directions. In the next moment, he felt an extremely terrifying aura surging towards him. In an instant, it appeared behind him again. Get lost! Lin Xian roared angrily. He waved the Great Destruction and shot out a destructive light, charging towards the back. However, that person dodged. At the same time, Ziming in front of him waved the underworld gourd and charged over. Kid, go to hell. There was a top-notch expert in front of him with a Saint King weapon, and there was a terrifying killer in the dark. It could be said that Lin Xian's situation was extremely dangerous. It seemed that the people from the mortal world had actually come in, and it had something to do with these sacred cities. On the other side, Shen Jingqiu magically changed. She wanted to soar into the sky and help. However, a terrifying Saint King pressure came down, causing her to be unable to move forward. Qiu'er, there's no need, Lin Xian said. He was afraid that Shen Jingqiu would be in danger. When Murong Qingqing saw this scene, he also wanted to make a move. At this moment, the old man from the primordial grotto, he sneered, Me, I won't let you make a move. The stone pagoda in his hand emitted an extremely terrifying aura, suppressing heaven and earth. Murong Qingqing's face was cold. He could only activate Kunlun Mountain to contend with it. Kid, I'll see how you die this time. The people from the underworld hall and the primordial grotto sneered. They felt that Lin Xian was dead for sure. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Dead for sure? What kind of joke was this? With his strength and trump cards, no matter how strong these people were, they would not be able to hurt him. He was able to survive even under the sage Wang Shouzhong, let alone now. Thinking of this, an extremely sharp light burst out from his eyes. In the next moment, he swung the Great Destruction again and charged over. Boom, boom. There was another shocking collision. Zi Ming's arm was numb from the impact. Although he also had a Saint King's weapon, he discovered that he could not suppress his opponent. The more he stood, the more arrogant he became. He was like a peerless divine king. At this moment, another terrifying killing intent appeared behind Lin Xian's back. The killing sword appeared once again. Lin Xian sneered. I was waiting for you. An illusion of the great sage pagoda appeared around him, blocking the sword. At the same time, he executed stellar transposition, and a terrifying sword light slashed out. With a poochie sound, fresh blood flowed down from the void. Someone groaned in the darkness and then quickly fled. You want to leave? Lin Xian coldly snorted and was about to brandish the Great Destruction Spear. Seeing this, the people of Acheron Hall frantically used the Acheron Gourd and the Acheron Dao diagram to suppress the Great Destruction Spear. He wanted to give his opponent a chance to escape. Lin Xian indeed unleashed a dragon-shaped sword chi that split everything in half. Boom, boom, boom. The void was torn in half, and a figure fell out. That person was also split in half. His scalp was numb, and he wanted to escape. However, he was instantly enveloped by the 10 ultimate sword formation. Humph! Lin Xian coldly snorted and unleashed the power of the great dragon sword soul. It exploded and destroyed his opponent's soul. Damn it! Zi Ming's expression was ugly. He did not expect that his opponent could still kill this Saint Killer after he had restrained the opponent's Saint King's weapon. Lin Xian turned around. Like a golden god of war, he held the Great Destruction Spear in one hand and the 10 ultimate swords in the other as he attacked crazily. Boom, boom. Zi Ming was beaten until he trembled and kept retreating. His face was full of shock. Without the Saint artifact, he was afraid that he could not block his opponent's attack. Buzz. Suddenly, Lin Xian used his eye technique and attacked Zi Ming. Zi Ming was stunned. Lin Xian waved the Great Destruction Spear and directly pierced through the expert from Thunder God City. His astral soul was also destroyed. In the blink of an eye, another late-stage Saint Venerable died. Damn it! Zi Ming roared. His body emitted the power of laws. He held the Underworld Gourd with both hands and unleashed a shocking attack. Underworld Destruction. This attack seemed to be able to destroy everything. However, Lin Xian used the Great Destruction Spear and formed a black storm to block this attack. At the same time, he waved the Man-Ruler seal and slammed his palm over. With a crack, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Zi Ming spat out blood and flew backward. His body was directly shattered. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. It was too strong. Zi Ming had a Saint King's weapon, but he still could not block it. Damn it! Zi Ming retreated crazily. Lin Xian charged forward. At the same time, the old man from the ancient grotto made his move. He waved the stone pagoda and charged over. With one attack, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Lin Xian once again charged over with supreme demonic chi. The two sides exchanged battlefields. This time, Murong Qingsheng also took the initiative to attack Zi Ming. The two battlefields erupted. Everyone left the 5th floor because they did not dare to stay any longer. Zi Ming had been injured previously. Now that he was facing Murong Qingsheng, he was also suppressed. On the other side, the elder from the ancient grotto had an incomparably cold gaze. Kid, I have to say that you exceeded my expectations. No wonder the underworld hall was defeated so miserably. His eyes emitted a cold light. Lin Xian snorted coldly. So what if they were from the ancient grotto? Although your background is extraordinary, can you be stronger than the nest of 10,000 dragons? I'm not even afraid of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Why would I be afraid of you? Lin Xian's eyes were filled with arrogance. The elder from the ancient grotto's pupils constricted. A hint of shock appeared in his eyes. You even know about the nest of 10,000 dragons. It seems that you are not from the second astral realm. Could it be that you left from this world? Thinking of this, he became incomparably cold. To be honest, he did not know Lin Xian's identity before because he only woke up many years after Lin Xian left the true spirit world. When he woke up, the entire world had changed greatly. Those geniuses from before had already been forgotten by people. Therefore, it was normal that he had not heard of Lin Xian. However, judging from these few words, he knew that Lin Xian should be from this world. It seems that your identity is not ordinary, but so what? If I attack, you have no chance of winning. This elder's eyes were filled with infinite confidence. His strength was even stronger than Ziming's. Therefore, when he used a Saint King weapon, the power would be even more terrifying than before. It would be as easy as flipping his hand if he wanted to kill the other party. Buzz. Suddenly, a trace of a biting cold light bloomed in the elder's eyes. The void around Lin Xian broke open. For large stone hands grabbed at him, like the hands of a god. They instantly enveloped Lin Xian. The sudden attack carried an extremely powerful force. Lin Xian seemed to have known it long ago. A golden light flickered in his eyes. Then, the sword's shadow slashed out in all directions like a divine sword. Chapter 4300. After the attack, a shocking power erupted. Then Lin Xian's figure disappeared into thin air. When he reappeared, he was behind the old man. The great spear of destruction slashed down like a sharp sword. Buzz. The old man's expression changed. He was courting death. He did not expect that his opponent would be able to block his attack so quickly and even counterattack. This caused him to feel furious. He turned around and slapped out. In his palm, the stone pagoda floated up and down. The runes that bloomed were too terrifying. The two saint artifacts collided, shattering everything. The entire Qianquan Tower shook violently. The Qianquan Tower was extremely mysterious. Even in the face of a Saint King's weapon, it was not damaged. He wondered what level it had reached. However, no matter how good the pagoda was, no one could take the Qianquan Tower. It could only stand between heaven and earth. When the two saint artifacts collided, the old man also emitted a terrifying aura. He opened his palm and slapped out. Countless Tao runes appeared on his arm. The power of his entire arm increased exponentially. Lin Xian was still fearless. He slapped out the man-ruler seal to fight back. When the two collided, Lin Xian was pushed back. The old man sneered. So, what if he had a saint artifact? He was still pushed back by him. However, in the next moment, his expression changed. Damn it. His body trembled. A terrifying aura appeared in his eyes to suppress the death energy in his body. At the moment of the collision, a wave of death energy surged into his body. He floated the stone pagoda above his head. Thousands of laws poured into his body to suppress it. On the other side, Lin Xian walked out of the shattered void. He spat out a mouthful of blood, but he sneered. If you want to hurt me, you'll have to pay the price. In the collision just now, it seemed like he was injured and spat out blood. However, he knew that his opponent was more seriously injured than him because his opponent had hidden injuries. If he didn't control it well, it would immediately explode. While his opponent was suppressing the death energy, Lin Xian attacked again. He held the Great Destruction Spear with both hands and swept it in all directions. Boom, boom. The battle between the two was even more terrifying than before. From time to time, Lin Xian would release the Law of Death, or he would release a dragon-shaped sword qi that would fly into his opponent's body to destroy it. The other party could still suppress the Law of Death, but this inextinguishable sword, was simply too horrifying. It was impossible for him to destroy it in a short period of time. After a few times, the old man suffered internal injuries. His face turned ice cold. Damn kid, just you wait. He did not attack again. Instead, he quickly retreated. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? Was the battle over? The archaic grotto's people actually retreated. It was too unbelievable. This meant that the people from Archean Grotto were at a disadvantage in this battle. Abominable. Zi Ming from the Yellow Spring Hall also retreated, his expression ugly. He hadn't expected that even with 2 Saint King weapons, they still wouldn't be able to do anything to their opponent. Let's go and search for the saints' wills elsewhere. These people gritted their teeth and prepared to leave. Buzz. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly made his move. The Great Destruction Spear pierced through everything and attacked his opponent. He was not attacking Elder Yuan, but another old man. The old man's forehead was pierced, and his soul was destroyed. Even in death, he did not believe that the other party would not let him go. That person was the one who had attacked him together with Lei Qianzi earlier. He would not let that person leave. Abominable. Just you wait. The people from Archean Grotto were so angry that they were about to cry. However, they did not attack again. Instead, they quickly left. Are you all right? The people from the Kunlun Pavilion rushed over, their faces full of concern. Murong Qingqing shook his head. On the other side, Shun Jingqiu and Ziming also came to Lin Xian's side and asked with concern. Lin Xian was also fine. He was a little injured, but it was not a big deal. Thus, he immediately sat down cross-legged and began to recover. Murong Qingqing also recovered. The Kunlun Pavilion's protectors and the others did not dare to approach. Before long, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He said, I want to meditate for a while. Thus, I can't leave for now. Qingqing, take Xiu and go find the Saint King's wills. Okay, then, Brother Xian, let some people protect you. Murong Qingqing arrived. Lin Xian shook his head. Don't worry, I have ways to protect myself. However, take good care of Qiu. Shun Jingqiu followed Murong Qingqing and the people from the Kunlun Pavilion and left. Lin Xian stayed behind. Yu Shijie also did not leave. She stayed by Lin Xian's side. She asked, do you want to cultivate the Saint King's wills? Lin Xian said, that's right. This is very important to me, so I plan to refine it. Yu Shijie also hesitated. He also had a Saint King's wills. Moreover, it was a water-type Saint King's wills. It was very suitable for him. However, if he cultivated the Saint King's wills, it would disappear. At that time, he would not be able to find anything else, and would not be able to go to the buried Emperor's Star. If he kept it, he would not be able to increase his strength in a short period of time. After thinking about it, Yu Shijie gritted her teeth and decided to refine it. He would first absorb the energy and think about the future. Thus, he also prepared to refine the Saint King's wills. Lin Xian brought him to the Great Sage Tower. The two of them began to cultivate. There was no need to worry about any sneak attacks here. On the other side, the others also left the Universal Tower because they would discover that there was nothing left here. Murong Qingqing and the others also left. However, Shun Jingqiu said, Sister Miss Seductress, I plan to search for it by myself. No, that's too dangerous. Murong Qingqing shook his head. I promised Big Brother Xian that I would take good care of you. Don't worry, I have ways to protect myself. Shun Jingqiu smiled. Then she waved her hand and left. Murong Qingcheng still wanted to say something, but he sighed and did not stop her. An elder beside him asked, "Let her leave by herself? Why don't we send a few experts to protect her in secret?" Murong Qingcheng shook his head. He said, "Forget it. Definitely has a trump card. I believe in her. Let's search for the Saint King's wills first." The people from the Kunlun Pavilion also left. On the other side, Shen Jingqiu went on alone. Then, a mysterious rune flickered in her eyes. In the next moment, she said in a low voice, "Is there really a Saint King's wills in that place you mentioned?" At this moment, a woman's voice sounded in her mind. "Of course there is, and there is more than one. I hope you are not lying to me." Shen Jingqiu increased her speed and disappeared. In the primordial battlefield, there were endless battles. There was even a heaven and earth phenomenon. Clearly, the people who came in had discovered the Saint King's wills. Fu Hongya obtained a Saint King's wills, and many people chased after him. In the end, he merged with the Saint King's wills, and his strength increased greatly. The same thing happened in other places as well. Everyone discovered that not only could the Saint King's wills be used to exchange for the qualifications to enter the buried Emperor Star, but it could also be absorbed to increase one's strength. This way, the situation changed. Previously, everyone wanted to obtain a Saint King's wills, but now, one was probably not enough. They wanted to obtain as much as possible to strengthen themselves. Chapter 43:01. Inside the Great Sage Pagoda, Lin Xian opened his eyes. A supreme Tao appeared in his eyes. It quickly disappeared. At this moment, the aura on his body became even more terrifying. Although his cultivation did not increase after cultivating the human ruler seal, he had a domineering aura that looked down on the world. It was too powerful. Was this the will of a sage king? Lin Xian was shocked. He turned to look at Yu Shijie in the distance. Yu Shijie was also shocked by Lin Xian's aura, so she also opened her eyes. There was also a deep power emerging from her body. Lin Xian knew that this was the power of water. How did it feel? Did you get any ultimate techniques? Yu Shijie nodded and stood up. She walked over. She said that she had obtained a divine power called the Aquarius Purifying Bottle. Obviously, she had also gained a lot. It seemed that the Sage Kings will not only contain the Tao of heaven and earth, but also the ultimate techniques of the Sage King. When he was alive, he wondered who the human ruler was. Just as he was thinking, an earth-shattering tremor came from outside. Then, a terrifying aura spread out. Even Lin Xian felt it from inside the Great Sage Pagoda. It was so scary. What was it? Beside him, Yu Shijie was also shocked. She also frowned. Lin Xian put away the Great Sage Pagoda. The two appeared on the 5th level. Then, they left the Universe Pagoda. They looked into the distance. Countless large cracks appeared in the sky of the primordial battlefield, and an extremely terrifying force spread throughout the area. Everyone discovered that some illusions had appeared in the sky. There were terrifying stone tablets and mysterious palaces that formed one piece. What was this? Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He said that as the ancient battlefield, there must have been something incredible here. It seemed that this had appeared in the core of the ancient battlefield. Did someone activate some array mechanism? Or was the ancient battlefield about to completely open? He had some guesses in his heart, but he could not be sure. There was no need to think so much. Let's go and take a look. Lin Xian knew that although that place was dangerous, there might be more Sage King's will. Buzz. The two turned into streaks of light and flew into the distance. Meanwhile, the people around the primordial battlefield also looked up with shock in their eyes. Chao Tiansheng held a saint's will in his hand. His eyes swept across the void and looked into the distance. Is it open? Let's go. With a wave of his hand, he led the people of the Limitless sect and quickly set off. On the other side, Murong Qingcheng had obtained the second Sage King's will. Her beautiful eyes were filled with joy. At this time, she also looked up and saw the scene in the distance. Then, she also led the people from the Kunlun Pavilion over. There was a canyon in the primordial battlefield. It was said that countless experts had died there. It was a terrifying place. The primordial battlefield was an extremely dangerous place. However, within this gorge, a bright light shone out as a heaven and earth dharma form tore everything apart. Shen Jingqiu walked out with a pale face. However, she smiled. This time, although it was dangerous and she had been injured, she had obtained 3 Sage King wills. Then, she looked up into the distance. At this time, the mysterious woman's voice sounded again. Unexpectedly, that place had also opened. Let's go and take a look. There are incredible opportunities there too. Shen Jingqiu nodded. Then, her figure flashed, and she flew into the distance. At the same time, Linghu Chui Xue Gufeng and the other experts of the sacred city all gathered in front. In the void, 10,000 rays of starlight fell. This was an expert of the 7-star tower who had reached the late-stage, holy exalted level. His strength was also very terrifying. At this moment, his face was filled with excitement. This was because he had also obtained a Sage King's will. He was on his way back when the void suddenly broke open. A white bone hand instantly enveloped him. Damn it! The old man of the 7-star tower was also an expert. He roared and counterattacked. However, at this time, a broken sword pierced through his body from the ground. Bang! That old man felt his vitality slipping away. In the next moment, he was completely enveloped by the white bone hand. A skeleton walked out from the ground. It was the same in the sky. It was a broken human figure. There was no vitality in their bodies. There were runes flickering on their bodies. Clearly, they were being controlled by some mysterious power. This was not the first situation like this. There were a total of 3. 3 powerful late-stage holy exalts were killed. The wills of the holy nets in their hands were also snatched away. In a remote area of the ancient battlefield, the earth split open. Several Sage Kings' wills floated in the void. The old man's lips curled up into a cold smile. Very good. Suddenly, heaven and earth trembled. A desolate aura appeared in the distance, causing the tombs of the experts and the surroundings to shake non-stop. Those skeletons were filled with fear. They no longer paid attention to the old man's control and directly drilled into the tombs. The old man guarding the tomb waved his hand and collected all the Sage King's wills. Then his face became somewhat gloomy. Had that place opened? He had not expected that the people who had entered this time would be so extraordinary. Then he glanced at the small mound to the side and frowned slightly. He did not know if that fellow had gone there. If that fellow had gone there, it would be troublesome. It seemed that he would have to make a trip there. A mysterious light appeared in the eyes of the old man guarding the tomb. Lin Xian and Yu Shirqia were flying rapidly in the air. Suddenly, he frowned. Who was it? As soon as he finished speaking, he directly slapped out with his palm, shattering the void. The white bone long blade descended from the sky, and the Runwang seal collided with each other. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out. Yu Shirqia also frowned. Was someone attacking them? Was it a top assassin? Lin Xian's face was also cold. However, when he saw the crack, he was stunned. It seemed that it was not a person of the human world, but some white bone creatures. Lin Xian directly took out the spear of great destruction and fought with it. That white bone creature was very powerful. However, under the great destruction, it could not resist at all and was directly shattered. It still wanted to escape, but in the end, it was directly suppressed by Lin Xian using the Taiji diagram. Lin Xian used his divine ability to search and obtain some vague information. This person was here to snatch the Sage King's wills. This fellow was extremely powerful when he was alive. It was not possible to completely kill him now. Lin Xian directly cast a seal and completely sealed this fellow in the ground. Then he frowned slightly. The following scene would probably be even more complicated. Anyone could attack him, and the difficulty of him wanting to obtain more Sage King's wills would increase exponentially. He had to think of a way. Suddenly, he was stunned and thought of a person. "Come out!" A figure was directly pulled out by him. Chapter 43:02. When she saw this figure, Yushurcha was also stunned because she realized that it was 9 Qilins. 9 Qilins from before had their lives cut off by Lin Xian, but they hadn't died completely. Instead, they had been suppressed by Lin Xian. At this moment, he released 9 Qilins. After 9 Qilins came out, he gritted his teeth and said, "Damn brat, let me go. The demon city won't let you go." Lin Xian said coldly, "Is that so? I'll give you 2 chances now. Submit to me and let me plant a restriction in your soul. That way, you can live. Second, you can resist, but I'll destroy your soul." Beside him, Yushurcha gasped. She knew that Lin Xian wanted to subdue 9 Qilins. However, 9 Qilins were different from her. If it were anyone else, Lin Xian would forcefully control their soul. But 9 Qilins was different. His bloodline was too strong. He must have some life-saving means left behind by an expert. If Lin Xian forcefully controlled 9 Qilins, he might activate these trump cards. Therefore, he had to make 9 Qilins willing. 9 Qilins gritted his teeth, unwilling to give up. However, when he thought of Lin Xian's methods, he knew that if he resisted, his soul would be destroyed. He could only say, "I can submit to you, but only for 100 years. After 100 years, I want you to let me go." "Okay." Lin Xian nodded. 9 Qilins gritted his teeth and said, "Swear on your future martial path." It seemed that he was still worried. Lin Xian sneered. "You want to negotiate with me? Do you think you're qualified? If you're not willing, I'll do it." He took out the Great Destruction Spear, and demonic chi exploded from his body. 9 Qilin's expression became even uglier. This was the aura of a Saint King's weapon. It seemed that the other party was much stronger than before. He didn't dare to resist anymore. He could only release his soul and let Lin Xian use his trump card. Lin Xian's spirit entered the other party's mind and heaved a sigh of relief. As expected, the other party had a life-saving method in his mind. He didn't move. Instead, he set up a soul imprint in another place with the power of the heavenly secret God eyes. Even a Saint King would not be able to detect it. "All right," Lin Xian said. "Follow me first. When I see the people from the demon city, I will let you out." If he were to let the other party leave now, the 9 Qilins would not be able to survive in such a dangerous situation. Once again, the group of people set off. In the sky, figures appeared one after another. They stood there and looked at the scene in front of them with sparkling eyes. This was the core of the primordial battlefield. The aura emanating from this place was even more terrifying. A huge city appeared there. There were all kinds of pavilions in the city, and they were full of traces of time. Lin Xian and Yushurcha were there as well. They looked ahead, their eyes flashing. "Let's go." Lin Xian waved his hand, and the 2 of them turned into streaks of light as they headed towards the huge city. At the same time, people turned into streaks of light in all directions. This city was very big, so it was impossible to investigate it completely in a short period of time. It was even possible that they might encounter each other. As these people entered, the huge city that had been asleep for countless years became lively again. However, not long after, a low sound came from inside. It sounded like a roar. Countless people were shocked. Could it be that there were still living existences in this city? If that was the case, how terrifying would it be? Boom! The ground cracked open, and black figures appeared one after another. These were all demonic beasts, and they were abnormally ferocious. However, no one knew what these things were. Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed that they could not search aimlessly. They had to quickly find the aura of the Saint King's will. Thinking of this, he opened his heavenly secret god eyes. Then, he sensed a mysterious aura in the distance. He prepared to go over and take a look. The two of them turned into streaks of light and flew through the city. Although it was called a huge city, it was really too vast. There were even mountains, trees, and canyons. Lin Xian and the others flew all the way. During this time, they even encountered some attacks. It seemed that there was more than one demonic beast inside. This huge city should have a special power that could allow demonic beasts to cultivate smoothly. Yu Shircha shot out 2 laws and sent 2 demonic beasts flying. She frowned slightly. If this continued, their speed would be very slow. Lin Xian also frowned. In the next moment, he directly used the tiger demon fist, and a tiger's roar sounded. A terrifying aura erupted. This was the sound of the king of beasts. It directly shook the world, and some of the surrounding demonic beasts quickly retreated. Next, their speed was much faster. After flying for half a day, they found a terrifying scene in front of them. The trees and mountains in front of them suddenly became tall. Lin Xian even found that there were many ancient trees around them that reached the sky. It was as if there were many giant dragons that kept circling. It was terrifying. There should be a powerful life force in front of them. They passed through countless divine trees and vines. After flying quickly, they finally arrived in front of them. When the two of them landed on the ground, the quiet void became lively again. This is? Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Beside him, Yu Shircha was completely stunned. Heavens! There were many spirit fruits around them. They were like stars swaying there. The number of them was shocking. Lin Xian was also surprised. In the next moment, a look of joy appeared on his face. With a wave of his hand, countless laws were sent out, enveloping this part of the world. Then he put away all of the spirit fruits. If the Crimson Dragon and Whitey were here, they would definitely go crazy when they saw this scene. Yu Shircha also quickly made a move. She formed a seal with her palms. In her hand, the law of water formed a treasure that quickly collected the surrounding spirit fruits. After a while, someone nearby exclaimed, "Heavens, what is this? Look, there are so many spirit fruits here. They are all natural treasures. Hurry up and do it. Follow me." As soon as this voice was heard, it attracted the attention of the surrounding people. Countless powerful auras quickly gathered in this direction. When Lin Xian saw the scene, he also said, "Let's go." The two of them had already collected enough and did not want to be discovered. Moreover, Lin Xian felt that this place should not be just these spirit fruits. There should be other treasures. So the two of them quickly disappeared into the void. Not long after they left, dozens of figures appeared in the sky. They looked at the surrounding spirit fruits with red eyes. There were too many of them. If they could take all of them, it would be equivalent to many years of bitter cultivation. Thinking of this, these people began to attack. In an instant, all kinds of laws erupted between heaven and earth. Soon, a great battle broke out. It was very terrifying. After all, in front of such natural treasures, these people would not hold back. Chapter 43:03. The battle in the surroundings was very terrifying. All kinds of laws filled the air, but Lin Xian had already left. He continued to walk forward. Soon, he stopped again. He found that there was a towering tree in front of him. It was very huge. The aura emitted from it was very rich. Clearly, It contained supreme vitality. There were also some fruits on it. After Lin Xian saw it, his eyes lit up. He turned into a stream of light and instantly rushed over. During this process, the surrounding vines and tree trunks quickly flew over, forming layers of defenses to block him. Lin Xian's man-ruler seal slammed over. The man-ruler seal covered the sky and earth and could destroy everything. However, at this moment, it was blocked here. It was really strange. He stopped with a look of surprise on his face. It seemed that this thing was indeed not simple. Lin Xian took a deep breath and directly used the great dragon sword soul. The indestructible sword slashed out. Only then did it split open the void bit by bit and cut apart those vines. That's great. Seeing this scene, his face was filled with joy. Finally, he arrived in front of the towering tree like a hot knife through butter. Then, he struck out a large golden hand and grabbed at the fruit in front of him. However, the fruit suddenly swayed and bloomed with incomparable light. A terrifying power spread out in all directions like a wave. At this moment, it caused a phenomenon of heaven and earth. Lin Xian was stunned. It was too late for him to stop it. This phenomenon would definitely be seen by the people fighting in the distance. At that time, there would be even more terrifying people flying over. Thinking of this, his face turned cold, and he directly attacked. He grabbed at a fruit. The multicolored light on this fruit actually turned into a great Tao to block it. Lin Xian was greatly surprised. It seemed that these spirit fruits were indeed extraordinary. With a cold snort, he waved his hand. The large golden hand exerted force again, shattering those laws, and then grabbing them in his hand. These spirit fruits were already tens of thousands of years old. If consumed, the effect would be very good. Therefore, Lin Xian did not stop. At the same time, he said to Yu Shirche beside him, "You should also make a move. How much you can take depends on your ability." Yu Shirche took a deep breath, and a light appeared in her eyes. She would not be polite either. The two of them quickly made their moves. The energy fluctuation from before was also spreading rapidly in all directions. Those who were fighting in the distance all raised their heads and looked into the distance when they sensed the energy fluctuation. What a terrifying aura! There seemed to be even more terrifying treasures of heaven and earth there. Go quickly. These people were no longer fighting. Instead, they were all flying into the distance. When they came close and saw the towering tree, they were all stunned. They were especially shocked when they saw the gigantic hand wrapped around some spirit fruits. These people's eyes instantly turned red. The power in his body continued to erupt. Lin Xian frowned. He didn't expect these people to arrive so quickly. Lin Xian's eyes flickered, but he didn't turn around. Instead, he stared ahead. At the top of the heavenly tree, there was a fruit. That fruit was enveloped by countless multicolored great Tao lights. Half of it was black, and the other half was white. It was extremely mysterious. Moreover, there was a terrifying black and white aura surrounding it, forming mysterious runes. Could this be formed by the power of yin and yang? Lin Xian was too shocked. This heavenly tree had a powerful vitality. However, it grew in the primordial battlefield, a place filled with the aura of death. That was why this yin-yang fruit was formed. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a piercing cold light. If he could obtain the nomological laws contained in this thing, then he could increase the power of the Taiji diagram. Lin Xian wasn't the only one who saw it. The few people who came saw it too. They looked at the black and white fruit above them with a piercing cold light in their eyes. It contains the yin and yang nomological laws. If we take it and consume it, we might be able to comprehend the laws. These people were really too surprised. The yin and yang nomological laws were extremely powerful origin source laws. Very few people could comprehend them. Once they succeeded, their strength would increase by leaps and bounds. Therefore, the aura on these people's bodies was abnormally cold. However, in the next moment, their pupils constricted. "Damn brat, how dare you?" They saw that the silhouette before them had extended an enormous golden hand and grabbed toward them. The few of them roared angrily and struck out terrifying heaven and earth nomological laws directly towards the huge golden hand. They suppressed the huge golden hand. Lin Xian's face darkened. He felt the power coming from his palm. He withdrew his palm, and his expression became incomparably cold. In the next moment, he turned his head and asked coldly, "You dare to attack me? So it's you, brat." Behind him, the expression of a powerhouse from the 1,000-demon city instantly darkened. He didn't expect Lin Xian to actually come here. Moreover, it seemed that he had come earlier than them. Then, how many of the surrounding spirit fruits had the other party collected? At this moment, a powerhouse from the Limitless sect also said coldly, "I won't make things difficult for you. Since you came so early, you must have already obtained enough spirit fruits. Now I'll give you a chance to leave. As for this yin-yang fruit, don't think about it anymore." The one who spoke was also an old man. His strength had reached the late-stage holy venerable realm, and the aura on his body was very terrifying. Although Lin Xian was a top genius, so what? Firstly, he was a late-stage powerhouse himself. Here there were many experts by his side this time. If they attacked together, the other party would definitely not be able to withstand it. Yu Shijie was also extremely nervous. She came to Lin Xian's side and said in a low voice, "Young master, what should we do?" She saw that other than the people from the Demon City and the Limitless sect, the people from Thunder God City were also there. Furthermore, the people from Great Desolation Mansion, Myriad Sword Pavilion, and Deep Sea Palace seemed to be rushing over as well. It wouldn't be long before this place was surrounded. Lin Xian looked at the sages, then at the yin-yang fruit, and a golden light appeared in his eyes. The next moment, he said, "All right, we'll do as you say. I'll leave, and you won't do anything to me." "That's right," the old man from the Limitless sect said with a smile. "I can guarantee that." To be honest, a trace of disdain surfaced in his heart. This Lin Wudi was not as arrogant as he had imagined. He knew when to advance and when to retreat. The people from the Thunder God City and the 1,000-demon city also sneered. To be honest, they didn't want to let that kid go. However, they also knew that it would not be easy to kill him. Moreover, people from other sacred cities could arrive at any time. If more people arrived, it would be difficult for them to obtain the yin-yang fruit. Therefore, they decided to snatch the treasure first and then deal with this kid. Very good. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a smile. Then he quickly retreated to the side. Yu Shijie followed suit. However, her face was filled with doubt. It shouldn't be. Based on her understanding of Lin Xian, this guy would not give up the treasure so easily, especially the fruit that contained the laws of yin and yang. It was very useful to him. Chapter 4304. Lin Xian glanced at Yu Shijie. He knew that she was confused, so he sent her a voice transmission. "Don't worry, that thing isn't so easy to obtain. Let's test its power first." Yu Shijie was stunned. She looked at the yin-yang fruit in the distance. Was that thing still dangerous? She really couldn't tell. The other late-stage holy venerates also smiled when they saw Lin Xian leave. Among them, the Thunder God City's people turned into lightning and flew over. "Damn it! How dare you?" The Limitless sect's elder roared, wanting to stop him. However, the lightning was too fast. He was still a step too late. The middle-aged man from the Thunder God City came to the front. He looked at the yin-yang fruit in front of him, and a smile appeared on his face. Everyone, I won't be polite then. After saying that, he charged at the yin-yang fruit. Behind him, the late-stage holy venerates roared. They unleashed terrifying divine abilities to stop him, but it was already too late. That was because the lightning palm had enveloped the yin-yang fruit. Great, it's mine. The thunder god expert's lips curled into a smile. However, in the next moment, his expression became incomparably ugly. He discovered that a black law had entered his body and instantly taken away his life force. As for his arm, it rapidly shriveled up. No, he frantically retreated. However, in an instant, he turned into white bones and no longer existed. The people behind him, who were still roaring furiously, were all stunned. Their faces were filled with horror. What was going on? A late-stage holy venerate had been killed, just like that. They felt a wave of terror. Yu Shichie's pupils constricted. How could this be? Only Lin Xian's eyes flashed. It seemed that it was true. The yin-yang law was extremely terrifying. It wasn't something that just anyone could contend against. Seeing Lin Xian's calm expression, Yu Shichie sucked in a cold breath. It seemed that Lin Xian had already known. Furthermore, the experiment he had mentioned should be this matter, right? At this moment, the experts behind him also looked at Lin Xian. Brat, you dare to set us up? The 10,000 Fiend City expert clenched his teeth and roared. The limitless sex elder had an icy expression. Lin Xian said, "Why would he say that? It was you who wanted to drive me away and take the yin-yang fruit. From the beginning to the end, I didn't say anything. Now you're saying that I'm framing you. Don't you think it's a little ridiculous? Damn it." The expert from the Demon City let out a furious roar as his body suddenly enlarged, as if he had transformed into a peerless beast. It seemed like he wanted to make a move. However, at this moment, an even more terrifying aura spread out from the surroundings. From the looks of it, the people in the distance had also rushed over. When they arrived, they also exclaimed in surprise. Was that the law of yin and yang? It seemed that this was a great opportunity. One of them was clad in green battle robes. He stood there like an ancient divine mountain, striking fear into the hearts of those who saw him. Shi Qingyu, many people exclaimed as they looked at him. Clearly, this was an extremely terrifying figure. Lin Xian looked at the other party and frowned as well. His eyes flashed with a cold light. This person gave him a dangerous feeling. After Shi Qingyu arrived, he looked as if he was looking down on the world. His gaze swept across the surrounding people without stopping. When he saw Lin Xian, his gaze paused slightly. However, it only lingered for a moment before he stopped paying attention. It was obvious that the other party had recognized Lin Xian, but he didn't seem to be paying too much attention to him. More and more people rushed over. They looked at the yin-yang fruit in front of them with shock. Discussions broke out one after another. At the same time, they also realized that there were many experts around, especially when they saw Shi Qingyu. They were all nervous. He was an extremely terrifying expert from the primordial grotto. At this moment, Shi Qingyu said indifferently, "I want the yin-yang spirit fruit in front of me. Do you have any objections?" Although his tone was asking, there was a domineering aura in his words. The surrounding people's pupils constricted when they heard this. Was this guy going to snatch it? However, they realized that no one dared to object directly, which was extremely shocking. At this moment, the sacred venerate from the 1,000 Demon City smiled and said, "We naturally don't have any objections." However, the first person to arrive here seemed to be Lin Xian. He seemed to be determined to obtain the yin-yang fruit. Many people's eyelids twitched when they heard this. He was obviously looking for someone from the primordial grotto to deal with Lin Xian. Sure enough, when Shi Qingyu heard this, he also turned his head and looked at Lin Xian before saying, "You must be Lin Xian, right? Would you dare take it if I gave it to you?" Lin Xian also smiled. Why wouldn't he dare? He had originally cultivated the Taiji art and had grasped two powerful nomological laws. This spiritual fruit would be of great help to his Taiji art. How could he give it up? When they heard this, the surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, this was indeed the case. They knew that Lin Xian wouldn't give up so easily. It seemed that this was indeed the case. Even though he was facing the extremely powerful Shurchingyu, he was still calm and composed. He really didn't know what was good for him. The sacred venerate from the 1,000-demon city sneered. He had already achieved his goal. Next, Shurchingyu would definitely not let him off. Sure enough, Shurchingyu's face also darkened when he heard this. No one had ever dared to be so arrogant in front of him, let alone a young man. Sure enough, he was even more arrogant than the rumors said. However, treasures were only suitable for powerhouses. Did he have the right to obtain them? Did he have the right? You'll know once you try. Lin Xian's eyes also burst with a piercing cold light. At the same time, an extremely terrifying power surged out of his body. On the other side, Shurchingyu's power also erupted, causing the surrounding void to shatter continuously. The people around him quickly retreated, their faces full of shock. They knew that the two of them were about to exchange blows. Do you think this kid can withstand it? What kind of joke was this? How could he possibly contend against Shurchingyu? That's right, I don't think he can even take one move. Many people around them sneered. The people from the immemorial grotto had special bloodlines. Their physiques were abnormally strong, and their power was even more shocking. Sure enough, Shurchingyu raised his hand and slowly clenched it into a fist. Mysterious runes appeared on the fist, and a terrifying power emanated from it. Boom. Then he threw a punch forward. The surrounding void shattered continuously. It seemed like a casual punch. However, even a late-stage holy venerate would not be able to withstand it. What a strong power! The surrounding people exclaimed in surprise. The way they saw it, Lin Xian was definitely going to die this time around. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. A piercing cold light burst out of his eyes. He was indeed very strong. No wonder his opponent had the right to be arrogant. However, so what? Lin Xian also extended his hand and continuously formed hand seals. The man-ruler seal was displayed by him. Like a supreme deity, it slammed forward fiercely. Chapter 43:05. Boom. The two attacks collided in the sky. It was as if hundreds of thousands of claps of thunder rang out in the sky. The entire world shook violently. Countless large cracks appeared in the sky. Violent winds and torrential rain swept across the land. The two black figures also retreated quickly. How was it? Everyone looked forward. They wanted to know if Lin Xian had blocked the attack. They guessed that he should have been beaten into a bloody mist. However, when they saw that Lin Xian had only retracted his palm and was still standing there, many people's eyes almost fell out of their sockets. God, he really blocked it. Between the heavens and the earth, terrifying energy constantly surged, and the surrounding people were all stunned. Their minds were a little blank. That was because they could not believe what they had just seen. They knew how powerful Shurchingyu was. Although the attack just now was just a casual attack, the power it contained was not weak at all. Instead, it was extremely powerful. However, Lin Xian was able to block such a terrifying attack with ease. It seemed that he was not injured at all. That was really surprising. Just how strong had this brat become? The faces of the Demon City's experts also darkened. Damn it, this kid was really too terrifying. They felt that he was not weaker than them. Lin Xian looked in front of him. Shurchingyu's face was a little pale. Then he smiled and said, "Your strength is only SOSO. You were so arrogant before. I thought that a sage king had come. Now that I've seen it, It's really disappointing. With just this little bit of power, you want to suppress all the heroes. I'm afraid you won't be able to do so. The surrounding people were stunned. Was this guy challenging Shi Qingyu? Sure enough, Shi Qingyu's eyes also burst with a cold, murderous intent. Was he looking down on him? The aura on his body kept exploding. However, Lin Xian retracted his gaze. He did not care at all. Instead, he looked at the yin-yang fruit in the distance. It seemed that it was about time to make a move. Others were afraid of the power of yin-yang, but he was not. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palm and directly shot out a taiji diagram. It flew towards the yin-yang fruit. This guy actually made a move. Countless exclamations were heard. Their eyes were red. Shi Qingyu roared, "How dare you?" The other party was too reckless. Did they really think that his strength was only that much? You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Today, I will let you know my true strength. As soon as he finished speaking, an extremely terrifying power erupted, causing the ground to shatter. Countless canyons appeared. Shi Qingyu stretched out a huge hand that covered the sky and charged towards the taiji diagram in front of him, wanting to grab it. However, at this moment, a sword chi slashed down from the sky like a bolt of lightning, blocking the huge hand that covered the sky. It was Lin Xian. Lin Xian had only used the taiji diagram to collect the yin and yang fruits, but he had blocked it. This was the green jade. What? Are you not convinced? Let's make it one stop then. Lin Xian's aura continued to erupt. He wasn't worried about the people around him at all, because the eruption of the laws of yin and yang in the distance was extremely terrifying. Even a late-stage holy venerate would not dare to get close. Once they did, their life force would be instantly snatched away. In such a situation, using the taiji diagram was the most suitable. No one can take away the treasures I want. You want to take the treasures from me? How laughable! At this moment, Shi Qingyu's expression became extremely cold. He was like an angry war god, his power and killing intent sweeping in all directions. Then he punched out again. This time, he must kill the other party. Do you really think that only your strength and physique are strong? Lin Xian also snorted coldly, his 9-yang divine body erupting continuously. Then, a golden palm of light slapped out. It was like a golden mountain, causing the entire world to dim. Even Shi Qingyu's pupils shrank. In the next moment, the two attacks collided again, and violent vibrations swept in all directions. Shi Qingyu felt a huge force coming from his arm, wanting to tear his body apart. This physique shocked him too much. He was from the immemorial grotto and had a strong bloodline. The immemorial grotto cultivated the Holy Spirit's blood, which was incomparable. However, he did not expect the other party's physique to be so strong as well. How could he have known that Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body was also one of the strongest physiques in the starry heavens? Furthermore, not long ago, Xiao Chen's 9-yang divine body had been tempered by the terrifying lightning sea and merged with the protective light. Now, it was even more horrifying. Hence, even when facing Shi Qingyu's physique, Xiao Chen was not at a disadvantage. No wonder you dare to be arrogant before me. It looks like you also have a powerful body tempering technique. However, how can you compare to my Holy Spirit body? Today, I'll let you know what the gap is. After saying that, an extremely terrifying aura surged out of Shi Qingyu's body again. Then, he formed hand seals. Together, they formed an extremely mysterious, illusory figure that charged straight for Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not dodge. He executed the man-ruler seal with his right hand and attacked continuously, like a heavenly king sweeping through the 9 heavens. As for his left hand, it turned into a golden sun that swept out in all directions. At this moment, the might of his divine body was completely unleashed. This attack was like 2 war gods clashing. The terrifying aura caused the scalps of the surrounding people to turn numb. This was especially so for the late-stage holy venerates. They were all stunned. This Lin Xian's physique was actually not weaker than theirs. This brat was too strong. His strength was already equivalent to a late-stage holy venerate. If they did not have powerful means, it would be very difficult to suppress him. The surrounding experts of the holy cities found this inconceivable. This was especially so for the people of Thunder God City, Myriad Fiend City, and Myriad Sword Pavilion. This was because in the second stage, Xiao Chun was only a peak small saint. However, in the third stage, his strength soared, becoming a mid-stage holy venerate. One had to know that this was a cultivation realm that might not be reached even after several thousand years. Xiao Chun managed to accomplish this in such a short period of time. This was simply heaven-defying. There were also some people who had cold expressions. They shifted their gazes away from the battle and looked at the light in the distance. They wanted to snatch the yin-yang spirit fruit. After all, now was the best time. Indeed, a holy venerate from the great desolate mansion instantly charged out. He created a desolate valley, wanting to envelop the yin-yang spirit fruit. Taiji revolved, and a terrifying Taiji sword light burst out. The yin-yang spirit fruit also shot out. The laws of yin-yang were rarely seen in the 9 heavens. One of the man's arms withered in an instant, and he immediately fled. He felt that 1/3 of the vitality in his body had disappeared. This was too terrifying. This yin-yang spirit fruit was really too strong. Probably only a true Sage King weapon could subdue it. The others were also shocked. However, they could not do anything about it. Chapter 4306. They were extremely unwilling to give up, because the aura on the Taiji diagram was very similar to the yin-yang fruit. It was not affected much. At this moment, it was fighting with the laws of yin and yang. It seemed that it would not be long before it completely enveloped them. When that time came, they would have no hope at all. Therefore, their eyes were red. They looked into the distance, hoping that Shi Qingyu could defeat Lin Xian. In this way, the Taiji diagram would not attack anymore. Shi Qingyu's face became extremely ugly. To be honest, he thought that he could kill Lin Xian with one move. He did not expect Lin Xian to block it. Now that he had used all his strength, he thought that he could destroy Lin Xian within 10 moves. However, he could not suppress Lin Xian after hundreds of moves, let alone kill him. Thinking of this, he roared, "Die!" With a roar, a terrifying murderous aura erupted. Sacred, heavenly divine palm. With a roar, a palm slapped out, carrying thousands of laws as if it was going to break through the sky. This terrifying power directly attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt the power of this palm and was shocked. He knew that this was a peerless divine skill because his divine body was shaking violently. It was as if it was going to shatter his body. Buzz. Lin Xian roared, and the dragon in his body roared. Then he formed the man-ruler seal with both hands and attacked together. It was as if the world was splitting apart. This power had actually become even stronger. Boom, boom, boom. The man-ruler seal had the aura of the dragon, and it fell directly on the sacred heavenly divine palm. The two collided, and cracks appeared on the sacred heavenly divine palm, as if it was about to shatter. Shi Qingyu was even more shocked. His face was full of shock and disbelief. How could Lin Xian be stronger than him? How could it be? He was 1 level higher than Lin Xian, and he had already used his ultimate skill. The surrounding people were stunned as well. Lin Xian's strength was truly shocking. His opponent's attack power was actually able to increase. At the same time, the Taiji diagram in the distance slowly descended, and it was very close to the yin-yang fruit. It would probably take less than half an hour to completely take away the yin-yang fruit. Naturally, Shi Qingyu also saw this scene, and his face was extremely cold. With a roar, he charged over again. Another world-shaking battle ensued. However, it didn't take long for Shi Qingyu to be sent flying backward. He even coughed up a mouthful of blood, and several cracks appeared on his body. "Damn it, you actually managed to injure me." Shi Qingyu's expression became incomparably ugly. After all, not many late-stage holy venerates could compete with Xiao Chen's physical body, but now someone whose cultivation was lower than his had actually surpassed him in terms of physique and strength. In fact, he had even injured him. The people around him were also terrified. The Saint Venerable from the Demon City felt his scalp go numb. If he was the one who attacked Lin Xian back then, what would have happened to him? The old man from the Limitless sect was also terrified. Previously, he had raised his cultivation and said that he would let the other party go. From the looks of it now, did the other party even need him to let him go? Lin Xian stood in the void. The more he fought, the braver he became. The golden flames on his body burned fiercely, and a powerful force was released. This caused the scalps of the surrounding people to go numb. At this moment, he attacked again. The man-ruler's seal slammed over, and it carried a terrifying power of the law. This time, Lin Xian not only used the power of the divine body, but also the power of the law. The golden flames covered the sky, and it was as if thousands of suns had appeared at the same time. The pressure brought about by it made even Shi Qingyu's expression become incomparably ugly. For the first time, he felt fear. However, he still roared and charged out, using the Saint Spirit bloodline to the extreme. The battle between the two was earth-shattering. In the blink of an eye, another 100 moves had passed. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly used an unparalleled secret technique. His strength increased exponentially, and he directly smashed his opponent's arm with a palm. Half of his body was shattered, and a bloody mist filled the air. Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian stood in the sky, and his voice was cold. Saint Spirit bloodline? There was nothing special about it. His words were filled with disdain. Shi Qingyu had gone completely crazy. He roared, and his shattered body reassembled, and he charged over again. He was not convinced, and he must kill his opponent. However, Lin Xian's power grew stronger and stronger, and in the end, he condensed the 10 extinction swords again. The sword energy swept out, and with one strike, it split Shi Qingyu apart. The 10 extinction swords contained 10 powerful laws. Under the fusion of the dragon soul's aura, the sword slashed out, and the sky fell, and the earth cracked. Although Shi Qingyu was not killed this time, he was seriously injured, and his aura dropped drastically. Damn it, he quickly retreated in fear. Was Shi Qingyu going to retreat? It was too unbelievable. The primordial grotto was such a powerful expert, but now he was going to retreat. Lin Xian would not let him escape. With a wave of his hand, the 10 extinction swords were released. The 10 laws formed a divine sword that moved between heaven and earth, directly sealing the entire world. At the same time, lightning and storms appeared under his feet, causing his power to reach the extreme. In the blink of an eye, he arrived in front of his opponent. Boom! The man-ruler seal kept striking out. This kind of peerless ability required too much power. Ordinary saints could not use it more than a few times, but Lin Xian's divine body seemed to have endless power. This kind of peerless ability could be used continuously. Boom, boom, boom. Heaven and earth shattered. Shi Qingyu's body was broken once again. He was torn apart, and he retreated. Lin Xian looked disdainfully at the surroundings, and he turned his head to look into the distance. At this moment, the Taiji diagram had completely enveloped the yin-yang fruit. It seemed that it was done. With a wave of his hand, the Taiji diagram rotated and quickly flew over with the yin-yang fruit. The surrounding people exclaimed. It seemed that such a treasure was going to fall into the hands of the other party. Damn it, Shurching roared. However, he had just condensed his body and his aura was very weak and his face was pale. Moreover, he did not have the courage to fight the other party now. However, he was really unwilling to watch the treasure be obtained by the other party. However, halfway through the Taiji diagram, there was a change. A spatial crack appeared, enveloping the Taiji diagram, and then it disappeared. What was going on? Did someone make a move? Everyone looked at Shurching, thinking that it was Shurching who did it. Shurching was probably the only one who possessed such strength in this place. Shurching's face was indeed pale. Damn it, it wasn't me, he quickly explained. Lin Xian ignored him, and an extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. Shurching was powerful, but he was still no match for him. Moreover, that was obviously the law of space just now. Only a space-type powerhouse could do this. Therefore, he thought of someone. In the next moment, he opened his heavenly secret divine eyes, and an extremely terrifying gaze from the sky cast down. It enveloped all directions. Lin Xian flew out like a bolt of lightning. The 10 ultimate sword formations surrounded him, shattering everything. That was the law of space just now, so it should be a space-type powerhouse who made a move. Let's go and take a look. The surrounding powerhouses naturally also noticed this scene. One by one, they quickly followed. They really couldn't think of anyone who dared to be so bold. Lin Xian's speed was very fast. He even used the void escape, because he realized that the other party's spatial magic was very terrifying. In the end, he directly used the dragon-shaped sword chi and slashed out. The entire sky was split open and cracks spread. In the void, the Taiji diagram flew out. Lin Xian struck out a terrifying dragon-shaped sword shadow, completely shattering the space around the Taiji diagram. Then he said, "Get out here. You want to snatch the treasure from me? Impossible." Is that so? You're too confident. Do you think that you can compete with me just because you defeated a few late-stage holy venerables? In the void, a cold voice rang out, followed by the appearance of a figure. His figure was abnormally blurry, and it seemed that he had merged with the entire world. Gu Feng, it was indeed him. Those people in the distance also came nearby. They looked at the figure in front of them and cried out in surprise. They guessed that only the people of the Gu clan had such a terrifying spatial divine ability. Chapter 4307. Lin Xian frowned. To be honest, the person in front of him was very dangerous. After all, he came from an emperor clan and cultivated the great emperor's ancient scripture. Moreover, he had grasped the spatial laws. Although the two of them didn't have any conflicts before, Lin Xian knew that he would be a powerful enemy on his path to becoming a great emperor in the future. The other party had the same idea. Therefore, the other party would make a move whenever he had the chance. Now, the other party had taken the initiative to attack him. Very well. Let me see how powerful the inheritance of the Void Emperor is. Lin Xian's eyes emitted a cold aura. Facing the other party, he didn't dare to be careless. This person was even more terrifying than Shurching from before. Lin Xian's body was covered in golden flames. The terrifying sword Qi pierced through the 8 desolates, causing the surrounding people to not dare to approach. Many spatial whirlpools appeared in the void around Gu Feng and directly absorbed the aura. Then, the aura was sucked into the universe. He laughed. The aura is very strong, but it's not enough to threaten me. I don't want to attack you now. So, hand over the yin-yang fruit obediently. I can spare your life. Otherwise, I'll send you on your way in advance. Is that so? Lin Xian snorted coldly. He used the man-ruler seal with his palm. His other hand held the 10 extinction swords. The two great divine abilities had the aura of the great dragon sword soul. He knew that to deal with the other party's spatial laws, he had to use the indestructible sword. What? You want to attack me? Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Gu Feng's eyes flashed with a cold light. In the next moment, the spatial laws on his body instantly erupted, forming a spatial storm. The entire space shook violently. Everyone felt that the whole world had frozen. What a terrifying spatial absolute art. The void split the sky. A low voice sounded. Then, the surrounding sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. Terrifying cracks instantly covered Lin Xian's surroundings. It wanted to banish his body to a different space. This divine ability was really terrifying. It used the power of the universe's spatial laws. Sure enough, Lin Xian felt a huge power even though he had the 9-yang divine body. This was equivalent to several worlds acting on his body, making him unable to move. Not only that, but there were even cracks on his body. It was so scary. The surrounding people were all stupefied. Was this the absolute art of space? It was really too terrifying. Someone shook his head and said, ordinary spatial divine abilities were not so terrifying. This Gu Feng should be from the Gu clan. If that was really the case, then they were from the Emperor clan. It was someone from the 9 Li dynasty who said that. As soon as he said this, the surrounding people were even more shocked. Were they from the great Emperor clan? No wonder they were so strong. Not good. Yu Shijie was extremely nervous. He was really worried about Lin Xian. Lin Xian's face was incomparably cold. In the next moment, he coldly snorted, and the dragon-shaped sword flew out and slashed in all directions, shattering all of the spatial cracks. Boom! He roared into the sky and punched out in all directions, shattering the surrounding void. Nothing in the sky was intact. This scene really shocked everyone. Lin Xian's body recovered, and he charged over. Boom! With a punch, the sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. However, the corners of Gu Feng's mouth curled up into a cold smile. It's useless. You can't hurt me at all. Sure enough, his body became dim, and he directly passed through this punch. This punch blasted into the void, causing the front to turn into chaos. As for Gu Feng's body, he appeared once again. Buzz. He could appear in the universe at any time. What can you use to kill me? Gu Feng calmly dodged the next attack. He didn't even leave his original position. Just like that, he dodged everything. The surrounding people were stunned. His spatial divine ability was already in an invincible position. Perhaps only a true Sage King could kill him. They couldn't be careless. Lin Wuti had a Sage King weapon. Once that weapon was used, it would also be a threat to Gu Feng. Someone said, "Do you think Gu Feng doesn't have it? If he was really from the Great Emperor clan, he would probably have more trump cards." Discussions could be heard. Lin Xian's face was cold, as expected of the Emperor clan's inheritance. However, do you think I can't restrain you? He used his divine ability with all his strength. Then he grasped the 10 absolute swords. At the same time, he used the power of the great dragon sword soul to the extreme. Sword chi slashed out one after another. These sword chi were incomparably sharp. It was like countless dragons roaring in the sky. Then they quickly charged over. Gu Feng was originally disdainful, but this time his pupils shrank. This was because he realized that even though his body had dimmed and he had entered the spatial dimension, this sword strike was still able to threaten him. Buzz. His body suddenly disappeared and appeared in another space. He was teleported. A crack appeared on his hand, and blood flowed out from it. What's going on? Is Gu Feng injured? When the surrounding people saw this scene, they were stunned. They didn't dare to believe it. He, who had the spatial divine ability, could be injured. Then, how did Lin Wuti do it? Despicable brat. Gu Feng's face became incomparably ugly. He stared at the sword shadow. Lin Xian laughed. Why Don't you have the spatial inheritance? Don't you have to dodge? Why did you dodge just now? Humph. Gu Feng didn't answer. The wound on his body quickly healed. Then he charged out again. Next, Gu Feng's attacks came and went like a ghost. He kept teleporting, so no one knew where he would appear in the next moment. Streaks of space mystic powers came charging over at high speed. Void finger. Endless spatial laws condensed, forming a spatial finger. It directly attacked Lin Xian. As soon as it appeared, it was already in front of Lin Xian. Its target was Lin Xian's forehead. Lin Xian raised his hand and attacked with the Man-Ruler seal. At the same time, he used the Void Escape to dodge in an instant. At the place where he originally appeared, a spatial stone tablet suddenly appeared and suppressed him. Fortunately, it only injured an afterimage of him. Lin Xian kept waving. Dragon-shaped sword qi slashed in all directions. Gradually, the sword qi shattered the space around them. There was no longer any space for Gu Feng to stand. Gu Feng could only attack from afar. In this way, it would be very difficult for him to hurt Lin Xian. Is this the power you were so confident about? Spatial divine arts are very strong, but it doesn't seem to have much effect on me. Lin Xian's voice was cold. Indeed, if it was anyone else, even if it was a late-stage expert of the older generation, they would have been killed long ago. But he was different. He had too many successions and trump cards in his possession. Heavenly secret divine eyes could see everything clearly. Even if the opponent was hiding in the void, he could still capture it. And the great dragon sword soul could cut through the void. It had an indestructible power. These two things were enough to contend with the other party's spatial laws. They could even suppress or injure the other party. Chapter 43:08. Gu Feng's face was incomparably pale. He really didn't expect that the other party could actually restrain his spatial ability. Once he used his spatial ability, he was invincible. Who could contend against him? However, he had met his match today. Kid, very good. I'll remember you. Gu Feng snorted coldly as his body gradually disappeared into the void. Lin Xian's expression was cold. The dragon sword spirit once again erupted, wanting to attack. It was such a good opportunity. He wanted to kill the other party. However, at this moment, an extremely terrifying aura came from afar, causing everyone to turn their heads. It seemed that something incredible had appeared again. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian didn't attack again. I'll spare you this time. He withdrew the dragon sword spirit and then waved his hand, summoning the Taiji diagram back. There was a black and white fruit in the Taiji diagram. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. It seemed that he had to find an opportunity to absorb the power of this fruit. This way, his Taiji fist would be even stronger. Thinking of this, he wasn't in a hurry to go immediately. Instead, he flew in the opposite direction. He wanted to absorb this yin-yang fruit first. On the other side, after Gu Feng left, his expression was incomparably cold. At this moment, a figure walked out and said, "Even you don't have the confidence to kill him?" This figure was Wan Jianni. He had also watched the previous battle. At this moment, his expression was incomparably heavy. Gu Feng snorted coldly. This kid wasn't simple. His physique was the 9-yang divine body, and his eye technique was powerful. It was obvious that he also had a top-grade bloodline. What was more troublesome was that he was the successor of the dragon sword spirit. He had the dragon sword spirit that could sweep through everything and had the inextinguishable sword intent. Dragon sword spirit? Wan Jianni was shocked. This was a legendary item, and the other party actually had it. Moreover, it seemed that Gu Feng was very familiar with it. It seemed that the two of them really came from the same world. Gu Feng took a deep breath and said coldly, "Don't worry. Although he has many trump cards, I have many. This was just a probing attack. I didn't use my full strength. Otherwise, if I used my trump card, he wouldn't be able to block it. Moreover, I'll be able to cultivate the Greater Void transference to the 3rd level soon. At that time, killing him will be as easy as flipping my hand. At this point, a cold killing intent erupted from Gu Feng's eyes. But no matter what, he had suffered a loss this time. He had lost to the other party. On the other side, Lin Xian left the crowd and entered the Great Sage Tower once again. He asked Yu Shiqie to guard him and keep an eye on the situation outside. He then took out the yin yang fruit and placed it in front of him. After sending out the laws, Lin Xian executed the Taiji art and quickly absorbed the energy inside. 5 days later, Yu Shiqie walked in and said that the situation ahead had changed. Lin Xian opened his eyes. The absorption over the past 5 days had allowed his Tai Chi art to improve once again. The yin-yang fruit was really too powerful. It had existed for tens of thousands of years. In just a few short days, he was able to make Lin Xian's strength change again, which made him really happy. With a wave of his hand, he carefully put the yin-yang fruit away. Then he said, "Let's go out and take a look." It turned out that an extremely terrifying palace had appeared in the Antiquity City. Quite a few people had already entered. And there were still some who were pacing back and forth outside because that aura was simply too shocking. Chao Tianxing led his men in, and so did Linghu Chueshua. In fact, Murong Qingsheng also led the people from the Kunlun Pavilion in. At this moment, Gu Feng arrived. He did not come alone, but brought a few experts from the Gu family and even the people from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. When the crowd saw that Wan Jinni had also appeared, they immediately exclaimed. It seemed that he had recovered. A group of people walked in. 2 streams of light streaked across the sky, and Lin Xian and Yu Shiqie appeared. They looked at the scene ahead, and their eyes were shining. It was time for that guy to appear. Lin Xian realized that there were people from the 1,000 Demon City around, so he asked the 9-headed Kailan to leave and meet up with the people from the 1,000 Demon City. As for him, he brought Yu Shiqie and quickly entered the palace in front of them. The moment they entered, Lin Xian and Yu Shiqie felt a huge force pressing down on them. It was too terrifying. This palace was really mysterious. Yu Shiqie used the law of water, which rushed out and surrounded them, resisting the terrifying pressure. In the next moment, they walked in, and they realized that the inside of the palace was also a space of its own. It was much more spacious than they had imagined. It was simply a small world. In front of them, there was an empty palace, and there was a stone tablet erected. It stood tall, and there were countless great paths carved on it. It was even intertwined with the Tao patterns on the ground. It was extremely mysterious. Around the palace, there were 4 statue guardians. It seemed that there were treasures. Some of them could not help but rush over, wanting to break through. However, the statue seemed to come alive. An extremely terrifying aura of the Great Path rushed out, and it directly sent one of them flying. That was a mid-stage Saint Venerable expert, and he instantly turned into a mist of blood. He frantically retreated, his face full of fear. The others were also stunned, and they looked at the 4 statues in shock. Originally, they wanted to attack forcefully, but now they hesitated. It seemed that this place was very terrifying, and there was a huge formation seal. They could not easily attack. Otherwise, there would be a terrifying bombardment. Lin Xian naturally came in as well. His eyes were shining as he looked around. Was there another strange formation? The others were also discussing with each other, preparing to break through the formation. At this moment, Gu Feng stood out and said, "Everyone, do you know what kind of formation can be used to break this formation?" "I know a little." Once he said that, everyone began to talk. Now, some people knew that Gu Feng should be from a great emperor family, and he was very experienced and knowledgeable. So someone smiled and said, "Young Master Gu, if you have any ideas, just tell us. If you need us, just tell us. We will definitely help young Master Gu." Gu Feng's lips curled into a smile. He said, "According to the information I read in the ancient books of my family, such a formation needs the power of yin and yang to break it." The power of yin and yang? The surrounding saints all frowned. This kind of power was not easy to find. It was very rare. This kind of power was indeed rare, but there was one person present who had it. Moreover, this person had both yin and yang, two kinds of power. If they used his blood to break the formation, that would be the best thing to do. As he said that, he pointed at Lin Xian. The surrounding people also looked over. This kid had the yin-yang diagram, and he had obtained the yin-yang fruit before. He definitely had the power of yin and yang. The people of High Rock Cave instantly walked out and said coldly, "Kid, kneel on the ground obediently and accept your death. I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll let you know what despair is." The people of Akron Hall also came. There were only 4 of them left. One of them had already fallen in the primordial battlefield. At this moment, the 4 of them were also emitting terrifying killing intent. They stared coldly at Lin Xian. Chapter 4309. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect it to be targeted at Lin Xian again. Moreover, it was Gu Feng who took the lead. Gu Feng retreated after announcing the news. It seemed like he didn't plan to make a move. Instead, he wanted to borrow the strength of the other holy cities to kill Lin Xian. "That's right. I agree." Wan Jianyi walked out. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He represented the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, the great desolate mansion, Thunder God City, and Demon City also walked out. "We have no objections. Let's work together." The surrounding people frowned. Lin Xian's strength wasn't ordinary. Even if everyone worked together, they could kill him. However, Peerless City was behind him. Sure enough, at this moment, a cold shout was heard. "Who dares to move?" Ling Hu Chueshue and Fu Hongya walked over with the people of Peerless City. They came to Lin Xian's side. "Whoever dares to touch junior brother Lin will be an enemy of Peerless City." The peerless sacred sword swept across the sky in all directions. Everyone was shocked. "Ling Hu Chueshue and the others are here? Looks like the situation has changed." Sure enough, the expressions of the people from the other holy cities changed. In the primordial grotto, Shi Qingyu sneered. "Just a force with a Saint King weapon. How dare you be arrogant in front of us?" He snorted. The stone pagoda floated above their heads, releasing an extremely terrifying aura. At the same time, the underworld gourd and Thunder God's hammer appeared. Several Saint King weapons were taken out together, suppressing the peerless sacred sword. Lin Xian glanced at him. "You're just a loser. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? Get over here. I don't need a Saint King weapon. I'll destroy your soul in 3 moves." Lin Xian looked at Shi Qingyu with disdain. Damn it. Shi Qingyu's face was cold. He had indeed lost to Lin Xian, but that was after thousands of moves. Now that Lin Xian said he could destroy his soul in 3 moves, it was obviously a slap to his face. He snorted. "Kid, I admit that I lost to you, but so what? We're competing now. No matter how strong you are, can you reverse the situation? That's impossible here. Who said we're weak?" Murong Qingcheng walked over with people from Kunlun Pavilion and Jade Lake. Help was here. Everyone was shocked. Regarding Peerless City's allies, they had already seen them in the 2nd stage. Could it be that the 2 sides were going to have another decisive battle now? Sure enough, another group of people walked towards them. For example, Li Hongxiu led the people from the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion, and Guan Songhai led the people from the Azure Sea Pavilion. There was also the Joyous Union Palace and the Heaven Devil race. These people all came to Lin Xian's side. For a moment, A powerful aura suppressed the entire area as it contended with the people from Akron Hall. His strength was not weak at all. The people from the Akron Hall had cold expressions. Shi Qingyu said coldly from the immemorial grotto. It seemed that there would be a duel soon. Since that's the case, let's do it. Terrifying light burst out from their eyes, and the surrounding people quickly retreated. The two sacred cities attacked. They all had saint-level weapons which could definitely break through everything. They began to worry about the heaven and earth. Kill. The people of the Akron Hall were the first to roar. They activated the Akron Gourd with all their might and charged over. The terrifying yellow springs surged in all directions. In an instant, it completely enveloped the entire space. Everyone was worried that the mysterious palace would shatter in an instant. However, to their surprise, it actually withstood the terrifying aura. The palace became incomparably vast, as if it had turned into an ancient battlefield again. A surge of primordial power surged out. Buzz. The stone pagoda also waved, and a terrifying power burst out, shattering the world. The weapons of the two sacred kings attacked together. The energy made everyone feel despair. Retreat quickly. The sacred cities that did not participate in the battle quickly retreated. They knew that they had to wait for the outcome of the battle to be decided before the others could make a move. Sure enough, some people retreated far away. Some people even left the mysterious palace to watch the battle from afar. Linghu Chueshue and the others roared and attacked together with the unparalleled sacred sword. With one attack, the unparalleled sacred city turned into a sword chi that rampaged between heaven and earth. Countless voids were trembling nonstop. The unparalleled sacred sword was incomparably powerful, but it was instantly suppressed by the two sacred artifacts. However, at this time, Lin Xian also took out the Great Destruction Spear. Everyone attacked together again. With a boom, monstrous demonic chi surged and swept in all directions. The laws clashed in the sky. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. The surrounding people retreated one after another. Not good. Use your full strength. Some people roared. On the Demon City's side, they took out a black, heavy sword named Firmament Sword. When the sword slashed out, it was as if the sky was pressing down. The terrifying power was even more shocking. Kunlun Mountain, Murong Qingcheng, and the others attacked Kunlun Mountain to block it. At the same time, Thunder God City, Great Desolation Mansion, and Demon City also attacked together. On Lin Xian's side, Acacia Palace, Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion, and Deep Sea Palace also counterattacked. The battle broke out in an instant, and it was incomparable. Buzz, the unparalleled sacred sword, turned into a piercingly cold divine sword and slashed down. This attack could instantly split a world in half. The two sides were evenly matched in the battle. However, at this time, the situation changed. A group of people suddenly attacked. In the void, an ancient mirror appeared. It unleashed a frightening amount of space power and shot towards Lin Xian and the others. Not good. Fu Hongya and the others felt the impact. The sudden attack made them feel pressured. Lin Xian summoned the Great Sage Pagoda to block it. With a boom, his arm went numb from the impact. Many people vomited blood. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with unparalleled killing intent. Damn it, it's Gu Feng. That's right, Gu Feng and the experts of the Gu family also took out a Sage King weapon. It was a void mirror. This was a replica of an extreme-grade weapon that had reached the level of a Sage King weapon. When it was used, it was extremely terrifying. Kid, you dare to kill so many experts of the Akron Hall. Today is the day you die. The people of the Akron Hall gritted their teeth. The people of the Great Desolation Mansion and Demon City also looked cold. They must capture the other party and let him know what despair was. a terrifying aura burst out again. Lin Xian and the others' faces were extremely ugly. The addition of the Gu family had put them in an extremely passive position. This was because they had to defend against spatial attacks at any time. Lin Xian shouted, and Morong Qingcheng led the people of the Kunlun Pavilion and charged forward. Trying to escape, thunder rumbled between heaven and earth. Thousands of lightning bolts fell and struck Kunlun Mountain, causing it to shake continuously. Morong Qingcheng and the others were blocked, and their faces became extremely pale. The people of the Demon City sneered and used the Thor's hammer. A cold voice sounded. No one is allowed to leave. Today, you will die without a doubt. Chapter 43:10. Don't you think it's ridiculous that you still want to escape at this stage? The people from the great desolate mansion sneered. This time, they had finally joined forces with great difficulty. With so many Saint King weapons, they had unleashed all of them in order to completely get rid of these people. Do you think you can do it? You don't have the right to say that. Lin Xian snorted and quickly used the Great Destruction Spear with the people from the Sky Fiend race. A terrifying demonic aura burst out and shattered the world. It was as if the gods and ghosts were crying. This method was too terrifying. The faces of the people on the other side changed. They didn't expect Lin Xian's combat strength to increase. Damn it, let's attack together. The people on the other side roared crazily, and there was another terrifying explosion. This time, both sides kept retreating and their faces were pale. Some of them even vomited blood. Although they were top geniuses and experts, they were using the Sage King weapons after all. The power contained in the weapons was far beyond theirs. Even if they could only use a portion of the power, it wasn't something their bodies could withstand. Therefore, they were all injured. At this moment, Lin Xian roared and took out 2 storage rings. Countless spiritual fruits flew out from them. They were the ones he had collected previously. At this moment, he took out a portion of them and turned them into energy that surged into the great dragon sword soul. Then, he slashed out with his sword. These spiritual fruits were very old. They were at least 10,000 years old. Moreover, there were so many of them that it was absolutely shocking. Therefore, the great dragon sword soul roared and quickly recovered. Its power was no weaker than the Sage King weapons. Not good. Seeing this, Gu Feng's pupils shrank, and he didn't attack. He knew that this was the great dragon sword soul, an offensive sage technique. Therefore, he quickly took his people and left using the space mystique. The others also felt their scalps go numb. They roared crazily. However, the sword still split everything apart. The power of the Sage King weapons was torn apart. Then Lin Xian rushed out with his people. They rushed out of the encirclement and rushed towards one of the statues. Damn it, this guy still has a trump card. When the people from the primordial grotto saw this, their faces became extremely cold. Kill him! These people roared crazily. They could also tell that the other party had used a large amount of power to unleash his trump card. It was impossible for him to use such a method multiple times. He might not even be able to use it a second time. They all activated their bloodline power and activated their saint spirit bloodline, illuminating the world. The stone pagoda emitted a terrifying radiance as it continued to enlarge. Several peerless sword lights flew out from inside. The people around him kept vomiting blood. Morong Qingcheng roared, and a pagoda appeared in her hand. This was a replica of the desolate tower. At this moment, when he took it out, its power was equally terrifying. He blocked the other party's stone pagoda. Then the jade lake rushed out and covered the surroundings, healing the injuries of these people. Let's go! Li Hongxiu from the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion was holding a huge fan. She attacked, and several of them were sent flying. Some of the late-stage holy venerates were instantly killed. The two sides fought again, but Lin Xian and the others fought as they retreated, retreating towards the statue. Soon, Lin Xian arrived beside the stone statue. Formation of destruction. Lin Xian used a powerful formation that he had obtained previously. It was a formation that used formations to break formations. When he used it, it was truly terrifying. At the same time, they poured the power of their saint artifacts into the formation of destruction. The formation rotated rapidly and broke through the statue. Then, these people were enveloped by a force. Damn it, we can't let them in. When the surrounding people saw this scene, their expressions changed. They did not expect Lin Xian to have such a method to break through the statue. These people moved out one after another, but they were still a step too late. When countless Saint King level powers descended, Lin Xian and the others had already disappeared. Damn it, the people from the primordial grotto roared crazily. Damn it, let's attack the other stone statues. The surrounding people also turned their gazes to their surroundings. Among them, the people from the primordial grotto and the Acheron Hall joined forces and stared at one of the stone statues. The Saint King-level weapons in their hands exploded. However, the power of their attacks was reflected back at them, causing them to vomit blood non-stop. What was going on? The expressions of the surrounding people changed. Were the Saint King-level weapons not enough? These people joined forces again. This time, there were 5 Saint King-level weapons. They did not believe that they could not break through. However, the impact that these people received this time was even stronger. Damn it, these people's eyes were red. Gu Feng's expression was cold. He said, "Don't waste your energy. That kid didn't break it with brute force. He used a formation to break the formation. We have to find the key to breaking it. Otherwise, no matter how strong their power was, it would be useless in front of this mysterious stone statue." These people's expressions were extremely cold. At this moment, Chao Tiancheng walked out and looked at the few figures among them. He said, "Help me, and I'll bring you in." Those people were stunned. Did Chao Tiancheng have this ability? So many Saint King-level weapons couldn't do it, so they were puzzled. However, the people from the 7-star tower stood out and said, "We believe in you." They would help the Limitless sect. The others watched coldly. However, what shocked them was that Chao Tiancheng actually formed countless mysterious runes and broke the statue. Then, the group of people was also enveloped by a terrifying power and disappeared. How was this possible? What was the background of this Chao Tiancheng? These people were all crazy. Gu Feng's expression became even more ugly. Damn it, he didn't expect that after Lin Xian, another difficult opponent would appear. It wasn't that he hadn't seen Chao Tianfeng before. He also knew how powerful he was, but so what? After all, he was from a great emperor family. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't be heaven-defying. However, he didn't expect that he had underestimated him. The other party was actually able to break it, but he couldn't do anything at the moment. There were a total of 4 statues. At this moment, 2 of them were broken. There were only 2 left. These 2, they had to go in. Therefore, these people joined forces and prepared to study it. The eyes of the others were also flickering. Not long after, more people came into the mysterious palace. This time, there were also many people who came. After they came in, they understood the previous situation. Immediately, some of their faces darkened. Among them, there were people from the 3 dragon clans. There was also a figure who looked like a fairy from the 9 heavens. It was Shun Jingqiu. She wasn't with Murong Qingcheng previously, so she didn't meet him in the previous battle. Now that she came and heard the news, her expression became incomparably cold. Shun Jingqiu was furious, but she did not attack these people immediately. Instead, she looked at the 2 stone statues. In the next moment, her eyes flickered. The mysterious woman in her mind sent her a voice transmission. There was a way to enter. Shun Jingqiu nodded and said to the people of the 3 dragon races, "Help me, and I'll bring you in." If it were anyone else, the people of the 3 Dragon Balls might not agree, but since it was Shun Jingqiu, they agreed. In the next moment, these people walked towards one of the statues. The surrounding people were stunned. What was going on? Could it be that these people wanted to crack it? What a joke! Although this Shun Jingqiu was also a genius, she was not outstanding among so many geniuses. How could the other party crack it? Gu Feng's face was also gloomy. He wanted to see if the other party was bluffing. After a while, suddenly, everyone was stunned. They discovered that the statue in front of them also cracked and then shattered. How was that possible? These people's eyes were about to pop out. Shun Jingqiu could crack it too. They were all crazy. What was going on? Why was it that they could not crack it even when they used all their strength, but the other party could? Did they crack it? The people of the 3 dragon races were also surprised, because from the looks of the remaining people, they could tell that it would be very difficult to crack it. However, they did not expect Shun Jingqiu to succeed. At this moment, a mysterious power enveloped them, and Gu Feng's body suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already beside Shun Jingqiu and the others. It seemed that he was going to use his spatial ability to follow them in. Damn it! Meng Qing and the others shouted angrily and attacked Gu Feng with their Dragon Ball Law skill. Gu Feng tore open a spatial tear and transferred all this energy to another space. Great! The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. This time, he could finally enter. However, at this moment, Shun Jingqiu snorted coldly and suddenly turned around. The cosmic form behind her threw out a card. Gu Feng was originally disdainful. With his spatial ability, he was not afraid of the great dragon sword soul. It could not hurt him at all. However, in the next moment, his pupils constricted. The reason for that was because he sensed an extremely terrifying power. It was already able to threaten him. Therefore, he could only dodge and leave the space. In the next moment, the place where he was completely shattered. Shun Jingqiu and the others had already disappeared. What was going on? Had Gu Feng been forced back? How was this possible? The surrounding people were shocked once again. The people from the Gu clan were also shocked. Gu Feng's expression was extremely gloomy. Damn it, what kind of absolute art did this woman master? Why was it so mysterious? There was only one statue left. It seemed to be their last hope. These people were prepared to fight back with all their might. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others felt the space around them spinning. When the energy disappeared, they hurriedly defended themselves. However, when they discovered that there was no danger around them, they all heaved a sigh of relief. "Look, what's that?" Someone cried out in alarm. They looked ahead. Further ahead, there was an even more terrifying statue. It stood there like a god of war. The aura it emitted contained a desolate power that made people want to kneel down and worship it. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. What kind of place was this? "Look, there are words on the ground." Someone cried out in alarm. Lin Xian and the others looked over and saw the words "ancient trial grounds" written on the ground. Lin Xian was too shocked. He didn't expect that there would be a trial ground in this battlefield. It was too unbelievable. Linghu Chueshua frowned slightly. He said that it was possible. The ancient battlefield used to be a super sect. However, it was destroyed in the ancient battle, leaving behind this palace. Perhaps this was what the disciples of that sect used to train. This explanation was reasonable, so everyone nodded. Since that was the case, they should see what this trial was. Everyone took a deep breath and prepared to walk forward. The huge statue held a huge sword in its left hand and a treasure bottle in its right hand. At this moment, as everyone walked forward, The treasure bottle in its right hand slowly descended, as if it was going to suck everyone in. It was obvious that the trial grounds were inside. Go. Everyone's eyes lit up. Since they were already here, how could they not go in? Therefore, they all moved and entered the treasure bottle. Lin Xian naturally went in as well. In the next moment, he felt that the people around him had disappeared. Obviously, this was a solo trial that could only be completed by himself. He appeared in a mountain range. His surroundings were very quiet. There was nothing. Lin Xian didn't know what the trial was, so he was always prepared. However, in the next moment, his pupils shrank. That was because he discovered that another figure had appeared in front of him. He was very familiar with that figure. It was himself. That figure's eyes were also filled with confidence. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. He looked as if he was looking down on the world. Lin Xian frowned. Could it be that the content of the trial was to fight with himself? He was truly surprised. That was because he had encountered countless opponents on his journey. There were even successors of great emperors, natural enemies. However, he had already walked all the way here. However, a person's greatest enemy was himself. Thus, Lin Xian really didn't know if a person could defeat him. Thinking of that, a light appeared in his eyes. What an interesting trial. In the next moment, he turned into a bolt of lightning and charged forward. He used the man-ruler seal and slapped it forward. Let's see how this trial is going to turn out. The figure opposite him also used the man-ruler seal. When the two attacks collided, an earth-shattering sound was immediately heard. Lin Xian was forced back. He felt his arm go numb. That attack was really powerful. He felt as if he had collided with a mountain. Was that the power of the 9-yang divine body and the man-ruler seal? It was too terrifying. It was the first time he felt it. As for the figure on the other side, he also retreated. It seemed that he had received the same impact as him. It was a little interesting. It was exactly the same as him. It was really unbelievable. Lin Xian had also used the dream leaf in a battle like this before. However, the opponents that he created back then were all imaginary opponents. Moreover, he didn't make himself an opponent. Therefore, it was the first time he had seen such a scene. In the next moment, he attacked again. This time, it was the 10 ultimate sword formation. The terrifying 10 ultimate laws spread between heaven and earth. The terrifying sword chi was about to destroy everything. A formation also appeared under his opponent's feet. It was the 10 ultimate sword formation. The two of them fought again. This battle was earth-shattering. After thousands of moves, the two of them were evenly matched. Lin Xian was too shocked. His opponent knew the man-ruler seal, 9-yang divine body, 10 ultimate sword formation, tiger demon fist, and even the heavenly secret divine eyes. His opponent's strength was beyond his expectations. Even his opponent's timing and grasp of the battle were exactly the same. Chapter 43:12. Lin Xian was not the only one. The others had also encountered such opponents, so they had been fighting each other for a long time. Defeating oneself was undoubtedly the most difficult thing. Therefore, after an unknown amount of time, these people did not succeed. However, it was not that they did not gain anything. Everyone had achieved a breakthrough in their battle with themselves. Even the use of laws and combat skills had become more powerful. These people's strength had increased. Lin Xian's side was the same. His strength had also increased. However, this was not enough. What he wanted was to defeat his opponent. Lin Xian did not use the Great Dragon Sword Soul. He did not know if his opponent could use the same aura. However, even if he could not, he did not intend to use such a powerful force. It would not be effective at all. He wanted to use his own strength. In fact, Lin Xian did not use the Great Destruction Spear. Just like that, he attacked again. Lin Xian fought with himself millions of times. Finally, in this battle, he had broken through his limit. He injured his opponent with a single sword. That Taoist retreated. A crack appeared on his body, and blood flowed out. Lin Xian's face was pale, but his eyes shone with a piercing cold light. Great, I've finally come to this step. He had been waiting for a long time for this moment. In the next moment, he attacked again. Although that figure was injured, his strength was not bad at all. In fact, his wounds were quickly cracking. Lin Xian was already able to injure his opponent. Next, he became more and more courageous. Finally, that person was completely shattered. Lin Xian roared to the sky. He finally did it. He had broken through himself, surpassed his limit, and reached an unbelievable level. As for the shattered figure, it turned into countless strands of power that enveloped Lin Xian. Boom! In front of the huge god of war statue, figures were teleported out one after another. It was obvious that the trial had ended. As soon as these people came out, they discussed with each other and found that they were all fighting with themselves. This kind of battle was too difficult. Most of them did not succeed. However, their strength had increased, which made them very happy. Murong Qingcheng came out. Linghu Chueshue, Fu Hongya, and the others also came out. However, Lin Xian still hadn't come out, which made everyone surprised. What's wrong with junior brother Lin? They were worried, and so was Murong Qingcheng. In the end, they discovered that Lin Xian had walked out. The moment they came out, they felt that Lin Xian was different. Had there been a change in his cultivation? They checked carefully and discovered that Lin Xian was still a middle stage holy venerate. However, he had a special aura. It made them feel that the Lin Xian at this moment was like a completely different person compared to when he had first entered. Older brother Xian, did you succeed? Murong Qingcheng walked up and asked. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. The others sucked in a breath of cold air. The other party had succeeded. It was too inconceivable. The other party had defeated him, surpassing his limits. Even Linghu and the others were shocked because this had nothing to do with their cultivation level. This was a personal breakthrough. They couldn't do it, but Lin Xian did it. At this moment, the huge statue shone brightly, and a force wrapped around them. It seemed like it was going to teleport them out. Indeed, not long after, they found that they had returned to the main hall. At this moment, there was no one around the main hall. Lin Xian's eyes flickered, and he discovered that the surrounding statues were all broken. He wondered which of the other three had entered. However, at this moment, an insect came in front of Lin Xian and released a soul fluctuation. Lin Xian instantly heard a message. This message was given to him by the nine-headed Qilin. It turned out that the nine-headed Qilin and the others didn't enter the last statue. The last statue was entered by a mysterious person. They knew that they didn't have a chance, so they left. They went outside to search for the Holy King's will. Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded. The second and third statues were entered by Chao Tianxing and Shen Jingxiu. The fourth statue was of a mysterious person. The nine-headed Qilin didn't recognize him, which surprised him. Who was it? Forget it. He shook his head and didn't think too much about it. Instead, he prepared to leave. Calculating the time, it was about time. It was the end. It wouldn't take long for the third stage to end. Therefore, it was better to search for more Holy King's will. After hearing this, everyone walked out. They were prepared to use the remaining time to search for Holy King's will. At the same time, two rays of light flashed across the primordial battlefield. It was Lu Yuan and Shangguan Shaoxian. The two of them didn't enter the mysterious valley previously. They were delayed as they were searching for Holy King's will. At this moment, the two of them were escaping. They had obtained Holy King's will previously, but they were discovered and chased down. At this moment, The one chasing after them was none other than Shi Qingyu, who came out from the mysterious palace. Shi Qingyu didn't get any benefits previously. He was even mocked by Lin Xian, which made him furious. Now that he saw the people from Peerless City, he naturally wanted to take revenge. If he could capture these two people, he wanted to see how Lin Xian and the others would react. Therefore, Shi Qingyu quickly attacked. Don't run. With just the two of you, you can't escape. Shi Qingyu sneered behind them. At the front, Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian's faces were extremely ugly. To be honest, Shi Qingyu's cultivation was stronger than theirs. However, if the two of them joined forces, they might be able to fight against him. However, they didn't dare to fight at all. That was because Shi Qingyu had a Holy King's weapon in his hand. This had completely surpassed their defense. They couldn't block it at all. As expected, Shi Qingyu used the stone pagoda and shot out a ray of light toward Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian. Lu Yuan roared, "Iron Horse Ice River." The boundless ice formed a demonic beast that stood between the heavens and earth as a form of defense. On the other side, Shangguan Xiaoxian also used the scroll in her hand. She shot out a mysterious mountain river painting, defending between heaven and earth. However, in an instant, the two of them were shattered. The two of them were sent flying while vomiting blood. There was nothing they could do. The Holy King's weapon was too powerful. They couldn't block it at all. Shangguan Xiaoxian's face turned ugly. Lu Yuan waved his hand and took out a Holy King's will. This was the only way. He used his strength to throw the Holy King's will in the opposite direction. As for them, they quickly flew away. It seemed like they were trying to lure the other party away. Holy King's will? Shi Qingyu was also taken aback when he saw this scene. Soon after, he revealed a smile. He quickly chased after the Holy King's will. Seeing this, Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian heaved a sigh of relief. Great. It seemed like they were safe. However, in the next moment, their faces changed. The surrounding land and mountains kept changing. Countless laws were emitted from them, forming a huge barrier. It seemed like the barrier was trying to seal them. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.